Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Well, it is a special day at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. Not your typical exhibition game. There are names that the Yankees are playing today you just don't expect them to play. Can you imagine this? Derek Jeter is in another uniform facing the New York Yankees. As today, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's Team USA against the New York Yankees, as New York Yankees is presented on Yes by Nissan. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. This Team USA Yankee game is a pretty exciting game when you look at the USA roster that they're bringing to the party.
Yeah, it's almost like an all-star team, Michael, but you know, the players are fired up to have the USA on their jerseys. The fans are excited here at Steinbrenner Field to get to see this team. The first time playing together in an organized game should be a fun day for the Yankees.
And it's a worst-case scenario, a bad dream for Yankee fans to see Derek Jeter on the other side, but Jeter is really pumped up about playing for Team USA.
Sort of a dream come true for me because, you know, I never had an opportunity to play for an Olympic team or a junior Olympic team or represent my country in any way. I didn't think I would have that opportunity, and then they started the WBC. I was very fortunate to get the opportunity to play. I really didn't know what to expect. But once you get there and you put on the uniform, there's a sense of pride you have, and you know, I really enjoyed myself. That's the reason why I'm going to do it this time.
Well, Jeter excels in all big moments. In the 06 WBC, he was the second best hitter for the USA team. Ken Griffey Jr. was first, then Jeter, Chase Utley, Derek Lee, and Chipper Jones. Let's take a look at today's Lexus pitching matchup, and it's a good one. Roy Oswalt, one of the best in the game, 17-10, 3.54 last year for the Astros, and Phil Hughes did not have a great season for the Yankees last year, 0-4, 6.62. He's made one start in spring training. He looked pretty strong there.
He did. He had a good first start in spring training, hit a couple of batters, but pitching coach Dave Island said he's working on throwing the fastball inside more. Last year when he was good, he had that good curveball, had some strikeouts with it, injuries, a rib problem, a hamstring problem. Phil Hughes is looking to reestablish his career this year, his second start of spring training today.
And his numbers, his first year with the Yankees, 5-3, 4.46, and last year was the disappointment, 0-4, 6.62. Because of last year, he's not projected in the starting five going into the 2009 season. And the starting five looks to be a formidable rotation for sure. The Yankees have had two big free agents. A.J. Burnett, the biggest addition. CC Sabathia, he's so good, he will lead us to break.
Hi, I'm CC Sabathia. Coming up, a look at the 2009 rotation on Yes.
It is the World Baseball Classic, a practice game for them before they go into tournament play. And yes, Derek Jeter is going to face the Yankees. He is on deck right now, and he will face Phil Hughes, who gets the start for the New York Yankees. This is the Team USA lineup that Hughes is going to face. Dustin Pedroia will lead off. He's going to play second base. Derek Jeter, the shortstop, will bat second. And you got Chipper Jones, David Wright, Adam Dunn, Kevin Youkilis, Ryan Braun, Brian McCann, and Curtis Granderson. Hughes is ready, and let's do it. The first pitch is inside, 1-0. That is a formidable lineup put together for Team USA, an all-star team. The 1-0 to Pedroia, right in off the fist, and it's fouled away. Pedroia, an unlikely American League MVP, and that's who Hughes is facing.
Well, Phil Hughes has his work cut out for him today. You see the numbers from last year, not very impressive, battled some injuries. He's looking to rebound this year, reestablish his career. Look at our scouting report. What a difference a year makes. Last year, Phil Hughes was handed a starting rotation spot, did not take advantage of it. He needs to establish number one inside. That's the fastball inside, and he's had a pro attitude all spring.
There's a strike in the outside corner.
And by that, Michael, I mean a pro attitude. He has not blamed anybody for what happened last year. He takes full responsibility. I was handed an opportunity. I didn't get the job done, and I'm going to have to earn another trip back to the major leagues. So I like everything I've heard from Phil Hughes this spring.
1-2 pitch. Fisted into shallow center field. It's going to dunk in for a base hit for Dustin Pedroia. Gardner gets the ball in, so Pedroia on with a leadoff single.
And then for Team USA, the shortstop, number 2, Derek Jeter.
Little strange for Derek to be playing against the New York Yankees, but that is in fact the case. He was in the Yankee clubhouse earlier today, and Joe Girardi playfully said, "Derek, you have to leave. The opponents can't be in the clubhouse."
It's got to be a different feeling of facing one of your own pitchers as Joe Girardi looks on.
Pitch is upstairs, 1-0.
And wouldn't you know it, Joe Girardi said not to throw inside. First pitch is inside off the plate to Derek Jeter.
Now, Derek Jeter has some thoughts about facing his old team. Here's what he said.
Well, I pretty much figure I won't get too many pitches inside because I know the manager and the pitchers, hopefully. But it's going to be weird. I mean, it almost seemed kind of maybe like kind of an inter-squad game.
With higher stakes, especially for Team USA. Throw over, Pedroia is back. See what Jeter did last year with the Yankees, another 300 batting average. 363 on base percentage. The number 2 hole is the hole in which he bats for the Yankees. There's a soft ground ball to second. Ransom will tag Pedroia and flip to first. It's a 4-4-3 double play. So Derek Jeter makes a turn and goes past the Yankee dugout. That must be odd for him as he heads to the third base side.
Long run back to that visitor's dugout. Not a usual place for Derek Jeter to run back to. But Phil Hughes, another fastball inside when he was told pitch away to Derek Jeter. Can't get the ball to the outside corner, letting some pitches run inside.
Here's Chipper Jones of the Atlanta Braves. And Phil Hughes deals. Pitch inside. John, why do they want Hughes to establish the fastball inside?
Well, Dave Eiland, the pitching coach, really believes that, he doesn't have an overpowering fastball. And when you don't have an overpowering fastball, you need to pitch inside more.
Hot shot, second base. Nice play by Cody Ransom. Over to Teixeira, and that'll do it. So Team USA does not score in the top of the first. No runs, a hit, no errors. And because of the double play, nobody left on base. Team USA nothing. And the New York Yankees coming to bat. Well, Team USA does not score in the top of the first. Roy Oswalt taking his warm-ups. And this is the Yankee lineup that he's going to face, is put together by Joe Girardi. Johnny Damon's in left field. Brett Gardner bats second and plays center. Mark Teixeira, the first baseman, will hit third. We have Jorge Posada as the DH cleaning up for the Yankees. Xavier Nades in right field batting fifth. Batting sixth and playing second base, Cody Ransom. Kevin Cash behind the plate will bat seventh. Angel Baroa, the shortstop, bats eighth. And Justin Leone, the third baseman, will bat ninth.
They're going to face a tough right-hander, Roy Oswalt. You see the numbers from last year: 17 wins, 3.54 ERA, 165 strikeouts. Opponents only hit 253 off of him. We'll look at our scouting report. He's a big-time winner, 129 and 64 in his career, and looks can be deceiving. He's not a big man, but he is a power pitcher, only 6 feet, 185 pounds, and he is an Olympic veteran. He played in the 2000 Olympics in Sydney, Australia.
Pitch to Johnny Damon is outside. Yankees so far this spring 2-3-1. Yesterday they tied the Astros in Kissimmee 5-5. The 1-0 is high, 2-0. Oswalt from the Houston Astros deals to Damon. There's a strike. The World Baseball Classic, 16 teams, and it will begin officially in Tokyo on Thursday. The 2-1. There's a strike. Then in San Juan and Toronto on Saturday, and Mexico City on Sunday. The second round is in Miami, and it begins March 14th, and in San Diego on Sunday, March 15th, as Damon goes down on strikes. Now the 16 teams are split into 4 pools: Group A, Group B, Group C, and Group D. The United States is in Group C with Canada, Italy, and Venezuela. And you see how the other teams are broken down into those pools. Now the USA is going to play its first game Saturday in Canada, and that'll be against Toronto. And the championship game, the final, is going to be at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles on March 23rd. Now, if your team has several players on the WBC, there's a possibility you could lose that player for 3 weeks if they go all the way to the championship game. The Yankees, 3/4 of their infield are on WBC squads. Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, and Robinson Cano.
You know, it's an interesting situation, Michael. You know, Derek Jeter talked about it earlier. You wear that USA across your jersey. You're proud of that opportunity to represent your country. But, you know, the organizations, it's a little different situation. Like you said, you're losing 3/4 of your infield if you're Joe Girardi. You're trying to develop some team chemistry in spring training. Not the easiest thing to do when most of your starting infield is away. And there you see all the participating players from the New York Yankees.
That one is chopped up the middle. It's a base hit for Brett Gardner. So Gardner gets a single to center field. Now you've liked what you've heard about Gardner's performance so far this spring, haven't you, John?
Well, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the 2 home runs either, as you see Mark Teixeira's numbers from last year. But Kevin Long, the hitting instructor, was raving about how he's using his legs. He developed that last year, using his legs more in his swing, and he's driving the ball, not for power, the 2 home runs, that's kind of a spring training thing, but shooting line drives through the infield, and that's really going to be his game. You know, if you're in AAA, you hit ground balls in the infield, you could beat it out with his speed. That's not going to happen in the big leagues. You have to drive the ball through the infield.
It's a battle. I mean, they've said it's a battle between Brett Gardner and Melky Cabrera, and the guy who has the better spring is probably going to be the Yankees' starting center fielder. Now, you can't fall in love and base everything on statistics. Well, Gardner hit 500, Melky hit 250. You know, the coaches are looking for different things than just numbers.
You know, Brett Gardner is a little different from Melky in that he brings a dynamic of speed. You know, if he gets on base.
Ground ball right side through for a base hit. And there's the speed as Gardner will easily go first to third. And Dunn flips into Pedroia. So a single for Teixeira.
Getting back to Gardner, if he gets on base, he's going to steal 30 bases easy. And Teixeira, a nice piece of situational hitting here. You have the hole open between first and second. Get a fastball and you hook it right through that hole. Going to be a nice spot for Mark Teixeira to hit in, number 3 in the lineup, ahead of Alex Rodriguez and behind Derek Jeter. A lot of opportunities for base hits and RBIs.
So first and third, 1 man out. Here is Posada. That one is inside out of the other way. It's a base hit, dunks in left field. Scoring is Gardner. Teixeira will stop at second, and Posada picks up an RBI single. The Yankees lead 1-0.
Jorge Posada trying to come back from that right shoulder surgery. He's been swinging a hot bat this spring. He gets a fastball up from Oswalt and just fights it off the other way. Again, situational hitting, a runner on third, less than 2 outs. Try and get a ball up out over the plate and drive it. He doesn't drive this one, but hits it well enough to pick up an RBI and a base hit.
Here's Xavier Nady, and the pitch is a strike. Yankees had a little bit of a scare regarding Posada on Saturday. He was in the lineup and then scratched right toward the game time. He said that his shoulder felt a little sore. He said he could play, but Girardi quickly took him out of the lineup. Shattered bat, grounded right back to Oswalt. They go to second, one on to first. It's a double play, a 1-6-3 double play. The bat went one way, the ball went right back to Oswalt, and that ended the inning. But the Yankees get a run on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Not only does he lose a bat, but the Yankees end the inning. 1-0 Yanks. Tonight on Yes, the Nets are in Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. Complete coverage starts at 7:30 with the Infinity pregame. Then Ian Eagle and Jim Spernarkel have the courtside call. Nets and the Bucks. It all starts tonight at 7:30, and it's only on Yes. We go to the second inning here at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. It's 1-0 Yankees over Team USA. Here's David Wright. He's the third baseman, batting cleanup in the Team USA lineup, obviously from the New York Mets. And there's a strike. The Mets, we talked about the Yankees losing 3/4 of their infield. The Mets have 11 of their 25-man roster on WBC rosters, and they have 15 players overall from their organization. And I asked David about that, and he said, it's tough. He said, you're trying to build stuff in spring training. He said, and a lot of the team is gone. He said, but I understand baseball's trying to sell itself internationally, and we're all on board about it. He said, but it is tough when a team loses that many players.
Yeah, and you can see everybody's perspective. I mean, the players want to do it to represent their country. You can understand that. Curveball's up a little bit. And the organization wants the team to be on the field to develop that chemistry that you talked about. But overall, the fans are into it. I think the fans probably more internationally than here in the United States are excited about it.
The 1-2. Grounded foul. Hey, get the best in HD free with IO.TV because everything about HD is better with IO, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball. It'll be Wright, Adam Dunn, and Kevin Youkilis in the middle of the Team USA order. The 1-2. Fouled away. The manager of Team USA is a familiar face to New York fans, Davey Johnson. Formerly the Met manager, won a championship with them in 1986. And the 1-2. A little bit low, 2-2. Davey Johnson, 14 seasons as a Major League manager, great winning percentage. We mentioned the championship with the Mets, and he won the 97 American League Manager of the Year with the Orioles. And boy, the Yankees and the Orioles, 96, 97, they had some battle royales. The 2-2. Inside 3-2, and he's got a star-studded coaching staff as well. Marcel Latchman is the pitching coach. Barry Larkin, Bill Ripken, Mike Schmidt, Reggie Smith, and Mel Stottlemyre. Mel Stottlemyre is the bullpen coach. Strike three, right down looking, and that's what John was talking about, establishing that fastball inside.
Well, Phil Hughes did a nice job in this at-bat. He'd thrown a bunch of curveballs to David Wright, and then he went back-to-back fastballs on the inside corner. Nice catch by Kevin Cash, the catcher. Frames it well, gives the home plate umpire Dan Iosonia a good look, and he gets the call.
Here's Adam Dunn. And there's a strike. Adam Dunn really had to wait and wait and wait as he was a free agent, and the free agent market a little bit different this year. He had 40 home runs, finally signed a 2-year deal with the Washington Nationals. Swung on and missed, and you see Dunn, he can hit for power. Boy, he strikes out a lot.
Well, he does strike out. The 40 home runs, so you could pencil him in pretty much for 40 every year if he stays healthy. But another interesting situation, he joins the Washington Nationals and leaves spring training to play for Team USA. We saw a lot of the Yankees, CC Sabathia, Mark Teixeira, A.J. Burnett turned down invitations to stay here in Yankee camp to get used to the team. Joe Girardi and the coaching staff. Adam Dunn chose to represent his country in the WBC.
Foul back. In fact, Dunn was a late addition to the team. He was texted by Barry Larkin on Saturday to ask if he would be interested in joining the team. And then Davey Johnson eventually called him following up Larkin's text. And there's Barry Larkin, now a broadcaster with the MLB Network. So taking some time off to be a coach here with Team USA, the 1-2. And Larkin knew Adam Dunn from their days in Cincinnati. Yankees have their second baseman on the outfield grass for the lefty swinging Dunn. And the shortstop shades up the middle. Broken back, grounded foul. That's a pretty good coaching staff when you look at it. There's a lot of great players in there, John.
Well, Mel Stottlemyre jumps out at you. You know, he was a pitching coach on Davey Johnson's staff with those Met clubs in the 80s, so there's a little reunion there for Mel. Good to see him today. You know, this Team USA, there's got to be, I think this year, see Mel in the bullpen coach, there's got to be a sense of urgency. I think in 2006, the Team USA just thought they could go out there, run through the tournament, and they lost in the semifinals. This year, a little renewed focus maybe for them.
There's a breaking ball dropped over the strike zone for strike three as Dunn down looking. 2 strikeouts gazing for Team USA.
Well, Phil Hughes showed Adam Dunn everything in the arsenal, and he finishes him off with a good curveball. But he saw fastballs inside, a changeup away, and then he just paints a backdoor curveball. Too early in spring training for a guy like Dunn to pull the trigger on that one.
Here's Kevin Youkilis. And there's a strike. So Youkilis and Pedroia from the Boston Red Sox. What a year he had last year. 29 homers, 115 ribbies. On base percentage approaching 400. Popped up right field into the corner is Nady, and he makes the play for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So Phil Hughes has put up 2 zeros against Team USA. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Yanks. More baseball on Yes Saturday afternoon on Yes. Our spring training coverage continues when the Yankees host the Braves right here at Steinbrenner Field. Ken Singleton and David Cohn have the coverage, and it'll all start at 1 o'clock. Yankee spring training baseball presented by Nissan Saturday afternoon at 1, only on Yes. And Chipper Jones will not be with the Braves. He'll be with Team USA. Cody Ransom against Roy Oswalt, and Ransom fouls it back. Ransom kind of solidified a spot on this Yankee team with the way he played last year when he was called up. Yankees are leading 1-0. But Ransom is probably going to be the backup infielder.
Oh, he's definitely the front runner. Joe Girardi liked what he did last year, put up some good numbers, but I think more importantly, his whole attitude, the way he went about his job, can play all the infield positions. Playing second base today with Robinson Cano gone. Made a couple of nice plays in the first inning. You see the numbers from last year.
Check swing right back to Oswalt. And there's one away. Strange thing about this afternoon in Tampa, it's actually chilly. But let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by our good friends at Toyota. A lot of people are bundled up today. A lot of people went out and bought sweaters. And as that sort of day, there's a real chill in the air. It's beautiful, but it's still cold for Tampa, but nothing compared to what it is back in the Bronx. 61 degrees here right now, and in the Bronx, 21 degrees, and a lot of snow still on the ground. Pitch to Kevin Cash is outside 1-0. Yankees signed Cash during the offseason, and there's a good chance that they will carry 3 catchers, especially with Posada still up in the air whether he can catch the bulk of the games. So if they do carry 3, Cash will go along with Molina. That one's up the middle, grabbed there by Pedroia. Off balance throw, got him. Pretty play by Dustin Pedroia. And he takes a base hit away from his former teammate.
Dustin Pedroia won the Gold Glove last year, the MVP and the Gold Glove, and a nice play to his right. A strong throw. Cash gets jammed, the bat goes flying. Nice backhand and a strong arm for the reigning American League MVP.
You know, Dustin Pedroia walked out of the Team USA dugout, and the Yankees were taking batting practice, and Kevin Cash was rounding third. And he stopped and he said, as you can only say to a former teammate, because Dustin Pedroia is very small. And he said to Pedroia, he said, I didn't know Team USA carried their own bat boys. And that's the American League MVP, the 0-1, as Baroa fouls it away. Boy, that's not a testament to kids that are small and want to play the game. This guy was the best player in the American League last year and has won a championship with the Red Sox as well. Grounded, third base, backhanded by David Wright. The long throw and a beautiful scoop by Kevin Youkilis to get the final out as they retire Angel Baroa. Good play on both ends. First to get to the ball by Wright, then the long throw in the dirt. But Youkilis makes a nice little hop step and a scoop. We go to the third. We go to the third inning. Yankees lead Team USA 1-0. Phil Hughes comes out for his third inning of work and deals to Ryan Braun. And Braun jumps on the first pitch and fouls it back. Braun last year with Milwaukee, an all-star, 37 home runs, 106 ribbies, and did it all while playing a new position. Really a third baseman, moved to the outfield, the 0-1. Made room for Bill Hall at third. And Braun and the Brewers played the Phillies in the first round. in the NLDS and ended up losing that in 4 games. In the 3rd inning, you've got Braun McCann and Curtis Granderson. And the 1-1. Outside, 2-1.
And Braun went to University of Miami, #1 pick of the Brewers, and right when he came on the scene, batted right in the middle of that Brewer lineup. Big time power. Powered all fields, 37 home runs last year. Be a nice fit for this Team USA to play left field.
And the 2-1. Broken bat, line drive, base hit to left field. Second base hit for Team USA as Braun rounds first. And they have the leadoff runner on with Brian McCann coming up.
Yeah, let's check out our BMW scouting report on Team USA. Renewed focus, I talked about it. 2006, they lost in the semifinals. I think they have to take it a little bit more seriously this time around. They're better prepared, playing more games together, 3 exhibition games as a club, so they'll be ready to go when the tournament starts up. And they have a distinct pitching advantage. They have some big-time arms. A lot of the other international teams, they might have some hitters in their lineup, but they don't have the pitching that Team USA has.
And the pitch to the Braves catcher, Brian McCann, is a strike. Now, spring training started earlier this year so that teams could get games in with the players that are going to go for the WBC and also get some players ready to play in the WBC. Pitch is outside, but I was wondering, John, the tournament starts Thursday in Tokyo. One of the pools starts in Tokyo. And are players ready at this point to play really pressure-packed games where they're going all out?
Well, I mean, the intensity level will pick up once that tournament starts. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be more intense in the spring training game. But we saw Derek Jeter playing pretty much every day when the game started. Alex Rodriguez the same. So they're probably going to have a good 20 at-bats, 25 at-bats going into tournament play. So it's not ideal. You probably want about 40 or 50 before you really tee it up. But they'll have their legs underneath them. They should feel pretty good.
But my concern so much is about the pitching, not about the hitters, because pitchers at this time of the year, Phil Hughes now is pitching his 3rd inning for the first time. Are they ready to pitch like that now?
You know, the starting pitchers have a pitch count in round 1, 75 pitches. There's no way a starting pitcher is going to be ready to go next week and throw 75 pitches.
Popped up, shallow left, Baroa back, and there's one away.
You saw with Team USA, they have loaded up with relievers, you know, and they're just going to keep bringing these relievers in, let them throw an inning at a time so the pitch count really won't be a problem. But the starting pitcher's a 75 pitch limit, and you can see all the pitchers for Team USA. A lot of relievers. Only 4 starting pitchers, Oswalt, Peavy, Ted Lilly's on there, and Jeremy Guthrie from the Baltimore Orioles. Everybody else, relief pitchers.
Crowded bullpen for Mel Stottlemyre. Here's Curtis Granderson of the Tigers. And there's a strike. Now, I think everybody likes the idea of having this World Baseball Tournament, but I think that people are debating when would it best be played. A lot of people say, well, how about November? And I asked David Wright about that, and Curtis Granderson got clipped. And that's the 3rd batter hit this spring by Phil Hughes. He hit 2 his first game on Thursday.
And Phil Hughes is not hitting batters like square in the back. He's just kind of grazing these guys, and that's because he's trying to pitch inside off the plate. So it's not that he's incredibly wild off the plate, just barely missing.
Anyway, David Wright said, I don't know if November would work. He said, I don't think that people would want to fire it back up after they've been sitting out 4 weeks, those teams that didn't make the playoffs. He said, I don't think that works. Here's Dustin Pedroia, and there's a strike. And I think the best idea that I've heard is if you had it in the middle of a season, like take 2 weeks out, what would normally be the All-Star game, and then play the tournament. Everybody would be fired up. The pitchers would be, you know, at their top form. Hitters the same thing. But would you want to take 2 weeks out of your baseball season?
You know, it would probably be the best time where legitimate baseball would be played. And by that I mean, like you said, the starting pitchers would be on the top of their game. The hitters would have a couple of 100 at-bats underneath them. They'd be ready to go. But there's no way you can shut down the season for 2 weeks. I know 3 days during the All-Star break. It took you a few days to get back in the rhythm of the season when you came back from the break. So 2 weeks would be an awful long time away.
1-1. Driven out to center field. Drifting back is Brett Gardner, still back, and he'll make the play in front of the track. Both runners tag, and they move up a base. The one thing that Gardner does not have, and you'll see it when you watch the games, he does not have a great arm in center field. And that's one area that Melky Cabrera has an advantage. And they knew the arm, and they tagged up, and they went.
Well, this ball was also hit pretty well by Pedroia to straightaway center field. See, Gardner goes back. He's going to have an easy play here right in front of the track. But you mentioned it, Michael. The one tool that Brett Gardner does not have, an above-average tool, is a throwing arm. And you had two pretty good runners on the bases in Braun and Granderson, and they took advantage. Braun goes halfway, then goes back to second base. Granderson, nice job of base running, tagging up, going to get into second base easily with his speed.
Here's Derek Jeter. Pitches inside. There is one precedent for stopping a season. The NHL does it, John, for the Olympics. And some people think that's a bad idea.
Hey, you know, the NHL, what are they playing, 3 games a week? I mean, Major League Baseball players are used to playing 7 days a week. Maybe you get a day off, 1 out of every 20 days. But there's a rhythm to the season where you keep going to the park, you get your normal routine. And when you're off of that routine for 3 or 4 days, you don't feel right. You feel like you got to get back in the flow of the season. So I think at this point in spring training, the players are fresh mentally that they want to do this. The end of the season, mentally, they're not going to want to keep playing baseball when your championship season is over.
Just that baseball is so different than other sports, John, because there's so much involved in getting players ready. You just can't pluck a guy out of bed and expect him to pitch 5-6 innings. That's the difference. Other sports, I think you can get ready quicker. The 2-1. Ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. That'll score 2 runners for Team USA. So Derek Jeter with a 2-run single, and Team USA leads the Yankees 2-1.
Nothing new from Derek Jeter. Thinks middle of the field the other way. See Kevin Cash setting up away. It's a fastball pretty much right down the middle. An inside-out stroke, couple of hopper right back up the middle. Baroa lays out, can't keep it in the infield. And Derek Jeter picks up a base hit and a couple RBIs to put Team USA ahead.
So Derek Jeter knocks out Phil Hughes, and that's really not being knocked out. They don't want him to go that much above 40 pitches. So he did a decent job. Joe Girardi congratulates him. The Yankees will go to the bullpen. Derek Jeter's on first with 2 outs. Team USA has a 2-1 lead. Well, the Yankees make the call to the bullpen, brought to you by Verizon Wireless, America's largest mobile calling family, now over 80 million strong. The call to the bullpen brings in Phil Koch, and he's going to face Chipper Jones, who just spins around to the right side against the lefty Koch. And he deals. Foul back. Phil Hughes went 42 pitches, so this time of the year, it's all about making the pitch count go up just a little bit more each time out.
I thought Phil Hughes did a nice job. 42 pitches. He probably got a little fatigued at the end. You see the numbers for Phil Koch. The .61 ERA, very impressive.
Hot shot, left side, through for a base hit. Damon will get the ball in. Jeter stops at second. A single for Chipper Jones.
Getting back to Phil Hughes again for a second. I mean, this is the point of spring training where you got to start building up arm strength. And you're going to be a little bit fatigued. And a guy like Phil has got to get through that. Thought he threw the ball outstanding the first 2 innings. Maybe got a little tired in the third. But overall, a very nice performance.
See Phil Koch there. He's pretty much penciled in for a spot in the Yankee bullpen. He'll be one of 2 lefties along with Damaso Marte. Marte is not with the team. He is with the Dominican Republic in the WBC. There's David Wright, and the pitch is a strike.
Well, Koch was so impressive last year, throwing a lot of strikes. We mentioned it. He repeats his delivery so easily, and that enables him to throw more strikes. So Joe Girardi, Dave Island, the pitching coach, they have a weapon, and he's not just going to be a lefty specialist. And they're talking about him multiple innings. You could pitch him in the middle of a ball game. You could pitch him late maybe to get a lefty out, but they're not looking at him as just a lefty guy.
One under the glove of Koch, but fielded by Ransom, and he'll get right at first for the final out of the inning. But Team USA scores 2, and the big hit off the bat of Derek Jeter. Derek batting second in the lineup, picks up 2 quick ribbies, hits one under the glove of Angel Baroa. Team USA leads 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the third. Back here at Steinbrenner Field, we go to the bottom of the third inning. Team USA 2 and the New York Yankees 1. Justin Leone will lead off for the Yankees, and he swings at the first pitch and grounds it foul and almost hits our next guest, or our first guest of the day, and that is former Yankee Ted Lilly, who's on the Team USA team, and now he's obviously also a member of the Chicago Cubs. Ted, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks, guys.
The 0-1. High fly ball left field. Ryan Braun. One away. Ted, you look around this USA roster and you look up and down that dugout. This is a pretty formidable team you guys have.
Oh, no question. And it's a great bunch of guys. We've got a great coaching staff, and I think a team that definitely not only is out here to have fun, but wants to win this thing.
Hey, Ted, I'm wondering, in 2006, Team USA got knocked out in the semifinals. I mean, you guys really have just gotten together, but is there any talk of kind of making up for that and doing a better job, maybe a different focus this time around?
Yeah, well, I don't know about making up for it. The team's a little bit different this year, but
Damon lines one to Jeter, 2 away.
But definitely, some expectations of going all the way and taking the title home for the country. I mean, it'd be something that this group would never forget.
Ted, one thing that we were talking about in the previous inning was how ready are pitchers right now to be pitching in high-pressure games, high-intensity games. Is this fair for the pitchers to be thrown into this sort of cauldron this early?
Yeah, I think so. We're aware of what's going on, and professionals out here, and take care of ourselves, and know that we need to prepare ourselves for these situations, and I think everyone's going to be ready.
If you had to put a pitch count, I know you're limited in the first round to 75 pitches. You're not probably close to that right now. Would you say maybe 50 pitches?
Yeah, that sounds about right, and I don't think I should have a problem doing that. It looks like Roy's throwing the ball real well today, and I'm sure he'll be ready to do that as well. So our starters will be ready, and then obviously we've got so much depth in the pen, and those guys will be able to take care of their innings too.
Ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit past a diving Pedroia. So Brett Gardner now 2 for 2 as he continues his hot spring.
Yeah, that guy's got a good swing. He stays on the ball well, and looks like a good hitter. Is he supposed to be the opening day starting center fielder?
Well, it's between Gardner and Melky Cabrera. They have to battle each other this spring, and the one who has the best spring is probably going to be the starting center fielder.
Okay.
How do you like your team, the Cubs? How do they play out? Last year, a good season, but it didn't end well in the postseason.
We're going to be good again. We'll. One of the first things that you think about is we have depth, and obviously, to go through the course of 162 games, you need that, and we have that in our starting pitching. We have a good bullpen, and then even the guys that might not break camp with us, when we leave, and it could end up in AAA or AA, are guys that aren't far from being ready, and even if they're not ready, or even if they're not going to make the club, I mean, they're guys that I think could be in the big leagues with a lot of other teams.
You miss the Yankees, Ted?
I had a great time. You know that. I love the group of guys that I was with, and got to experience winning at a young age, and it's something that didn't take for granted when I moved on.
Ted, we thank you for joining us. I know you're pitching tomorrow, and thanks for popping on the Yes Network. We appreciate it.
For sure. Good to talk to you guys.
Have a good time, Ted.
All right. Thanks, John.
Count 2-1 on Teixeira. Gardner, always a threat to steal, and there he goes. Pitches inside, throw to second. Not in time. He is instant offense on the bases, John, and that's something this Yankee team that has a lot of good hitters. They don't have many great guys that could steal. That's something he'll add to the team.
And you know what? If you're a catcher and Brett Gardner gets on base, you know it's just a matter of time when he's going to challenge you. He's going to be aggressive. See, McCann comes off with a pretty good throw. Doesn't have a lot on it, but it's accurate. But Gardner just beats this easily.
And Teixeira works a walk against Oswalt.
It'd be such a nice weapon to have. You know, if you look at the Yankee lineup, if they stay healthy, Johnny Damon will lead off. You would assume that Gardner would be hitting ninth. I mean, it'd be nice to have some speed at the bottom of the lineup, almost like another leadoff hitter. He's gotten off to a great start.
I thought it was amazing. Ted Lilly has not seen this guy, and he sees him take 2 swings, and he was really impressed with Brett Gardner.
And you know what? That last hit for Gardner was what we kind of talked about, Michael, his first at bat. Just being a little stronger, using your legs a little bit more to be able to drive the ball through the infield. Last year, Brett Gardner wasn't able to do that, and he lost some points on his average. This year, he just looks like he's got to swing together, using his legs more. That should raise his batting average.
And they said something that they've done also this year with Gardner is they kept him in his crouch. Last year, they felt that he would start the at-bat in the crouch, and then when the pitch was coming, he would stand up. He said, and then his eye level would move. He said that really hurt him.
You know, it's so tough to make adjustments during the season. I can't even imagine coming to the big leagues and then having the hitting instructor try and make some adjustments with your swing while you're trying to produce and impress your organization. Last year, it was kind of baby steps. He saw some improvement. Kevin Long was encouraged. Now this year with the offseason and coming in spring training, he looks like he's right on time.
Gardner's at second. Teixeira with a walk is on first. Yankees trail 2-1. We're in the bottom of the third. And there's a strike, 2-2. Posada drove in a run in the first inning with a single. Posada's not going to catch until March 15th. Coming off what he termed major shoulder surgery. Now, it was done arthroscopically, but he said he couldn't even explain everything they did in there. He's coming back from a lot of work in that shoulder. The 2-2. Swung on and missed, and Oswalt works out of trouble. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. A little bit of a chilly day here in Tampa, but still a beautiful place to be as Team USA leads the Yanks 2-1. Hey, the Yankees are going to play Team Canada here on Thursday. If you happen to be in the Tampa area, you plan to be, well, tickets are still available at Yankees.com. You can go to the George M. Steinbrenner Field box office, and it's very rare that you could get into Steinbrenner Field during spring training. So you have a chance Thursday, Yankees against Team Canada. Justin Morneau, Joey Votto, Matt Stairs, some of the Canada players. So drop on by if you are in the area. Phil Coke deals inside to Adam Dunn as we start the 4th inning on the Nissan scoreboard. 2-4-0 for USA and 1-4-0 for the Yankees. Team USA, a 2-run single by Derek Jeter accounts for their runs. Dunn pops it up. Foul territory. Teixeira runs out of room as it lands in the Yankee dugout.
And Michael, you mentioned some of those names for Team Canada. There are some guys who can hit in some of these lineups. You know, really the difference is the pitching. You heard Ted Lilly talk about the depth of the USA pitching staff. It should be an advantage, but there are some guys, Venezuela, who could swing the bat. Team Canada who can swing the bat, so it'll be fun to watch, see how they do in the first round.
And the 1-0. Upstairs, 2-0. You know, we talked about Phil Coke when he came in last inning, but the Yankees were so impressed with Coke when they called him up last year that if they had not signed the free agents that they signed, they felt that Coke's stuff actually translated into being a starter. They would not have hesitated to make him a starter. Now he's a weapon in the bullpen because not only does he match up well against lefties, but as John mentioned earlier, he can get out righties as well.
And as good as he was last year, Dave Island, the pitching coach, picked up a little flaw early on in spring training where he's got to keep his arm angle a little bit higher. It enables him to get the fastball away on lefties. But he was so impressive last year.
Swing and a miss, and Dunn chases a pitch up and in. 1 away.
There's an example of it right there. A nice lively fastball. Was supposed to be away, ended up middle, in, and up. So he did miss his location, but he was able to get the ball up and underneath the swing of Dunn. Picks up a strikeout. I was fortunate enough to be with Phil Coke and Alfredo Aceves at the rookie preparation program this winter in Virginia, where Major League Baseball kind of goes through a crash course on what to expect in the big leagues for some young players. And Phil Coke really impressed me as a very confident young man. Didn't take his September success for granted. Said I have to go into camp and earn my spot again, and it looks like he's doing a nice job of that.
And also what's interesting to note about Coke, you know, he came up last year, so people say, well, he's a rookie. He's 26 years old, so he has toiled his trade in the minor leagues for a long time. He's learned how to pitch down there. Grounded to third base, Justin Leone across the diamond, and Youkilis is out for the second of the inning.
You know what, Michael, when you have a guy in the minor leagues who's had to struggle and fight for his opportunity, when he gets up there, he doesn't take it for granted. And I'm not saying that Ian Kennedy or Phil Hughes took it for granted, but they were pushed to the major leagues. A guy like Koch had to earn it, went through some struggles in the minor leagues. When it finally clicked, he's not taking that for granted. He still has to go out there and win a spot on this staff. And Joe Girardi has been very happy with what he's seen so far early in camp.
And we'll get a chance to talk to Joe Girardi in the 5th inning, so you definitely want to stay tuned for that as Ryan Braun takes a pitch low and inside 1-0. Braun in the 3rd inning singled to left and came around to score. There's a strike.
Figure Koch is going to be in the bullpen. That Yankee bullpen was a strength last year. You figure it's going to be a strength again this year. And the improvements to the starting rotation, they should be rested even more. Should be good news for the Yankees.
You look at Koch, John, and he's 90-92, but it seems like it gets on you a lot quicker.
Look at the delivery. It's so easy, it's effortless, and the ball just jumps out of his hand. When you're a hitter, you pay attention to the delivery and how quick it is.
Right there as he swings and misses, does Braun. And a 1-2-3 inning for Phil Koch, including a strikeout of Dunn and a strikeout of Braun. Go to the bottom of the 4th, 2-1 USA. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is 2-1. USA leads the Yankees, and Xavier Nady against Roy Oswalt as they stretch out the right-hander from the Astros, and he deals a strike. 0-1. 2-4-0, leading 1-4-0. That one's fouled back. John, I have to apologize. Last inning, for some reason, there was something Boston that came out of me. I said quicker, and I meant quicker. So please, I apologize to everybody watching and you.
Well, I don't take it personally. It's okay, Michael.
It was a mistake, and I'm embarrassed by it. The 0-2, foul back. So it's quicker, not quicker. Did you have a nice winter, John?
I did have a nice winter. As you know, in New York, a long winter. A lot of snow. A couple of weeks before Christmas. It seems like it's been around forever. And then fought a snowstorm last night to get down here with you. I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
What, being with me or
yeah,
the USA
doing my
Yankee
first game of the year with Michael Kay. Had to make sure I had to charter my own flight to get down here to make sure I could make this appearance.
The 1-2. Grounded foul. Still 1-2.
Looking for big things out of Nady this year, Michael. I thought I was really impressed with what he did last year on the field, but even more importantly is his presence in the clubhouse. Seemed like he went about his business the right way, rubbed off on some other people. Be nice to have him around for a full year.
Popped up, shallow right, and Adam Dunn puts it away for the first out of the 4th. Hey, tomorrow night on Yes, catch the premiere of The Great Eights, featuring stories and conversation with some of the greatest Hall of Famers to wear the number 8, including Cal Ripken Jr., Joe Morgan, Gary Carter, and of course, that man, Yogi Berra. It's the premiere of The Great Eights tomorrow night at 10:30, only on Yes. Well, Roy Oswalt has done a good job. He allowed a run in the 1st inning, and that's it. Shut down the Yankees after that. So he's at his pitch count. Team USA goes to the bullpen, and we'll be back in just a sec. Well, with 1 out in the 4th inning, Team USA goes to the bullpen, and Brad Ziegler comes in. Ziegler with the Oakland Athletics, and boy, did he have a good year last year. Funky, sidewinding right-hander, and he deals to Ransom, up and away, 1-0.
We talked about Phil Koch taking a while to make it to the big league. Ziegler at the age of 28 made his big league debut last year. What a debut it was. It was 39 scoreless innings before giving up a run. How about that, Michael? You make it to the big leagues at 28, and then the next spring you're pitching for Team USA. Not bad.
I would think that the longer it takes to get you to the big leagues, the bigger a deal it is and how much more you appreciate it and savor every moment.
A lot of ups and downs in the minor leagues. Was released by the Philadelphia Phillies, and then he went to this new motion down under. Good slider right there. But you're right, you get to the big leagues, you appreciate it more, and you probably keep your focus a little bit better knowing that in a blink of an eye you could be back in the minor leagues again.
He worked from the extreme first base side of the rubber. Grounded up the middle. Grabbed by Jeter. He does the 360, fires, but Youkilis cannot come up with the scoop. And the predominantly Yankee crowd boos Youkilis. They are not Youkilising him as they do in Boston. They're booing him for not coming up with the Jeter scoop.
Well, nice range by Derek Jeter to his left. The spin, he gets enough on the throw, just short hops. Youkilis can't come up with the play. Watch how much range Derek Jeter shows right here. Going to his left. Nice grab, good throw, just doesn't get the pick on the other end.
They'll score that a hit, as they should. Here's Kevin Cash. Count 1-0. Now, the only knock against sidewinders is that they have a difficult time getting out the opposite batter because you get a good long look. But with the numbers that Ziegler had last year, he had to be getting out lefties as well. They didn't exclusively bring him in against righties. Against lefties, you'd go with maybe a backdoor breaking ball if you had a changeup of some sort. The 1-1 inside.
You'd also have to throw fastballs inside off the plate so you can open up the outside corner. But you're right, he's dominant against righties. And if you're Kevin Cash right here, you're fighting for a job in spring training. This is the last guy you want to see. A side-winding right-hander would be a tough at-bat for Kevin Cash.
Flared the other way, foul.
I've always liked Kevin Cash. He does a nice job behind the plate. A good catch and throw guy. Had the unfortunate job of catching Tim Wakefield last year in Boston, and I thought he did a nice job with that. The Red Sox decided to let him go, but the Yankees pick up a veteran backstop. A lot of experience, knows how to call a game.
Runner goes. Off-speed pitch, swung and missed, and the throw goes into center field. But Ransom will stop right there. So Cash down on strike, stolen base for Cody Ransom. That's the tying run now in scoring position.
Cody Ransom having a nice game today. Picks up a stolen base right here. Made a couple of nice plays at second base. Has himself a base hit. Doing a lot of things to impress the coaching staff. But really the one knock on McCann would be that he's not a great thrower behind the plate. More of an offensive-minded catcher. The throw got away from him there.
Here's Angel Baroa. Grounded to third in the second against Oswald. And there's a strike. Now, we talked about how it could be gone in the blink of an eye, and Angel Baroa has certainly ridden the roller coaster. American League Rookie of the Year with the Royals, and then the bottom fell out. Just lost the skills that made him the Rookie of the Year. There's a ground ball to Jeter. And he fires across the diamond, and that's going to do it here in the fourth. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. Four in the books here in Tampa at 2-1 Team USA. We go to the top of the fifth inning here at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. Team USA 2, the New York Yankees 1. And we are joined here in the top of the fifth inning by the manager of the New York Yankees and the title star of the Joe Girardi Show, Joe Girardi. Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm not going to dance this year on that show.
Well, that'll make Paul O'Neill feel a lot better. He kept waiting for it to happen. It never did.
Give him a little heads up. He's probably sitting home watching this game right now, studying.
Oh, absolutely. Doing his research,
That's
looking for
right.
a pen. How do you think Phil Hughes threw?
I thought he threw great. He mixed in his changeup, and his fastball was very good. He threw a couple decent cutters, a couple good curveballs. He threw really well.
That one's driven into left center field, and Brett Gardner with a good jump puts it away for the first out of the fifth inning.
I thought his downhill playing on the ball was excellent today, and that's always so important for a pitcher that they're throwing downhill. And for a hitter, it's a lot harder to pick up than when it's flat.
Joe, I was talking a little bit how I've been impressed with Phil Hughes, how he's handled himself with the media. He hasn't pointed any fingers except at himself. He had an opportunity. He did not take advantage of it last year. How do you think he's carried himself this spring?
I think really well. I think he's on a mission this year to prove that last year was, just a blip in the radar screen, and that, he's a big league pitcher. And obviously, we're talking about our 5 starters, and Hughes may be getting some more seasoning, but you always have to be ready. And as a pitcher like Hughes, you never know when that opportunity's going to come, and I think he will be ready, and I think he'll take advantage of that.
Joe, your team facing Team USA, and you actually have a little history playing international ball. You were on the 1985 USA national team, and we actually have a picture of you up on the screen right now. You had a lot more hair then, Joe.
I'm really glad I can't see it.
Was that fun for you wearing the USA across the chest?
Oh, it was a blast. I mean, we got a chance to go to Venezuela, Canada, Japan, Korea. I mean, it was just a great time with, a lot of guys that you didn't know and you didn't play with. It was, a college summer thing, and I really enjoyed it.
You don't look that much older now, Joe. I mean, you just shave off most of your hair, but you look the same.
Yeah, well, that's to keep the grays away. It's cheaper to do that than coloring, so I choose that direct route.
Now, is it tough for a manager as Granderson hits a fly ball to left field? Johnny Damon drifts back, drifting over his Gardner. He'll put it away. Is it tough for a manager to have 75% of your infield taken away from your team to play in this tournament?
Yeah, you feel like you're playing a card game and you're a little short. I mean, that's the way you feel. And obviously, we'd love to have those guys here, but we know why they're doing it, and I think it's good for baseball. And I think probably the most important relationship there is between Teixeira and Cano, where they know how to play with each other on that side of the diamond. Tex knows how far he has to go. Robbie knows what he has to do. So hopefully, we'll have, at least 10 games together when they get back to work that out. But that's probably the relationship that I miss the most.
Dustin Pedroia at the plate. There's a strike.
Joe, how about the idea of team chemistry? Spring training, these guys aren't going to be around. They really can't get to know each other, the personalities. Maybe that first road trip would be a good thing for you guys to get away as a club and get off to a good start. Might develop some chemistry there.
I think it will, and you have a chance. After the first game, the NCAA championship game is going to be on. There's something that you can possibly do there. I think that 10-day road trip will be great for this club to bond, because when you go home, you're all staying in different places and you just meet each other at the ballpark. But when you're on the road, you spend a lot of time eating lunch or dinner together, and it'll be great bonding.
Line drive, right at Justin Leone, and that is going to do it. As Phil Cope works a 1-2-3 inning. Joseph, thank you so much.
We're going to have to do this more, because whenever we talk, it's a quick inning, and that's good for us.
You know what? Just come up and join us in the booth, Joe.
Thanks, Mike.
We'll go to the bottom of the fifth. Justin Leone tries to bunt and bunts foul as we start in the bottom of the fifth inning. 2-1 USA over the Yankees. It'll be Leone, Damon, and Gardner, 9-1-2 in the Yankee order against Brad Ziegler, the second pitcher used by Davey Johnson and Team USA. Roy Oswalt started.
A guy like Leone, he's probably not disappointed. Alex Rodriguez gone, Derek Jeter playing for Team USA, Robinson Cano. It means more at bats, an opportunity to show what you can do. The guy's had a pretty good minor league career, 170 home runs in the minor leagues, so he's got some power. But this an opportunity for him for the next couple of weeks to show Joe Girardi, Brian Cashman, the general manager, what you can do.
The 0-2. 1-2. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. That off-speed pitch really has the right-handers off balance. Hey, the award-winning Yankeeography series is now available as a beautiful 12 DVD set filled with more than 40 hours of New York Yankees legends and lore. The 12 DVD Yankeeography mega set can be ordered at Yankees.com, and now I know exactly what I'm getting John Flaherty on his birthday, October 21st. Pitch inside. I'll wrap it nicely. It'll be great.
You know what? The only thing that would be better, that sounds like a great present. I would gladly accept that. But do they have a DVD set of the Center Stage series? Because then I would get to see you at your best.
Ground ball to short. Jeter guns down Damon. Two-way. I believe that you can order some Center Stages on YesNetwork.com. I believe. But I have copies of all of them if you'd like them.
That would be great.
Okay, you got it. And that'll save me money because I can get those for free.
Well, money's not a problem, right?
No. Here's Brett Gardner. He's 2 for 2. Pitches inside. 1-0. And there's a strike.
Just thinking Brett Gardner 2 for 2 today. It might be a nice opportunity to try and lay a bunt down here. Something you always work on in spring training, but definitely a guy like Gardner, that's part of his game. Might be a nice opportunity. See David Wright, the third baseman, playing in on the grass, so he respects Brett Gardner's speed and the possibility of a bunt. But even bringing Wright in there, you can just slap that ball by him, stay inside the baseball.
And one thing you don't want to do is walk this guy, because it is almost like a walking double. He is a threat to steal every time he gets on first base, no matter who the catcher is. The Yankees have not had a player like this since Homer Bush. And Homer Bush in the '98 season was really a weapon for Joe Torre. He'd bring him up the bench, put him on first base, and he'd steal second.
Well, I can speak from experience. I was a catcher on the other side trying to throw him out. Not an easy thing to do.
That one is sliced fair inside the left field line. Gardner rounds first. He's going for second. The throw from Braun, not in time. A 2-out double by Gardner. He is 3 for 3 on the afternoon.
A guy like Ziegler, the ball moving away from Brett Gardner, the more pitches he saw, the better off he was, because the approach should be right there. Slap it the other way, stay inside, and he just drills this ball down the left field line. Not a whole lot of movement in that swing. Keeps his hands back and drives it the other way. 3 for 3 with his first double of the ball game.
And Teixeira takes a pitch low, 1-0.
Oh, Michael, nice to see a young guy come into camp. He knows he's fighting for a job, and he goes out there, gets off to a nice start, kind of sets the tone for Melky Cabrera. I'm going to play this way. Let's see what you have. Nice, healthy competition.
Down 1-1.
It sounds like Melky had a nice ball game yesterday as well, so a nice healthy competition for center field here in Yankee camp.
Well, Melky has a better arm and probably has more power, and Gardner has better speed. I think he goes and gets the ball a little bit better than Melky, although Melky's a good center fielder in tracking the ball. Each of them brings different things to the party. The 2-1. Grounded foul.
I actually asked Joe Girardi, is there a possibility maybe of seeing a platoon in center field? And he didn't think so, because Melky's strong side is not the right side. So he didn't think that we would see more of a platoon. He'd like to see somebody out there every day, but you know, you don't know how things are going to shake up with injuries and how the right field situation is going to play out. So might be plenty of opportunities to go around.
2-2. Weak hack there, and there's that pitch that he needs against lefties. Off-speed pitch on the outside part of the plate. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We've played 5, 2-1 USA. Back here at Steinbrenner Field on the Nissan scoreboard, Team USA 2 and the New York Yankees 1. The Yankees have slashed 6 hits but have managed just 1 run. Team USA 4 hits and they've gotten 2. Both of them coming on a 2-run single off the bat of Derek Jeter, who's playing against the New York Yankees. And there is Derek Jeter. And he's going to face a new Yankee pitcher, Eric Hacker. Double-A Trenton, 7-4, 2.76, less than a hit per inning and just under a strikeout per inning. And Hacker deals. There's a strike. A couple of other changes that we'll give you as we move along. 5th inning, usually early in spring training, that's when they empty the bench, the 0-1. And there's a strike.
I talked to Dave Island, the pitching coach, about Hacker. He said he's a command guy. He's got all 4 pitches, fastball, curveball, slider, change, but not a power pitcher. Has to hit the corners, gets ahead on Derek Jeter 0-2.
Count 1-2. There's Dave Island.
I'd be very happy with what he's seen so far in spring training from all the pitchers, really. Throwing a lot of strikes, establishing the fastball.
Chopped over the middle. Ransom, off balance throw. He's not going to get Jeter. And an infield single for Derek Jeter.
Derek picks up his second base hit of the ball game. Has both RBIs for Team USA. Looks like that hamstring soreness early in camp is not an issue. Got down the line pretty well.
You see the first baseman, Nick Swisher, who's taken over for Mark Teixeira. Swisher will be playing some first base, corner outfield. Not real comfortable in center field. He played most of last year with the White Sox in center. Pitch outside to Chipper Jones. Now, we've spoken about this before. You see what Jones did last year. What a season for the Braves. 364. But we've spoken about this on previous broadcasts that Nick Swisher has lightened the mood in the Yankee clubhouse. He's the official DJ of the team, blasts music, and Joe Girardi encourages him to do that. What does that mean to a team, John?
Well, I just think it creates a different personality. I mean, you know, the Yankees traditionally in the past years that I was there, 03, 04, 05, it was very businesslike. You know, not a whole lot going on in the clubhouse. You kind of came in, punched the clock, and did your job.
That one gets past Kevin Cash as Jeter will move to second.
And I think with Nick Swisher coming in and, you know, cranking the music in the clubhouse, it's not disrespectful to the media. It's not disrespectful to your teammates. It just creates a lighter mood. Maybe some guys can relax a little bit, and, you know, maybe that's just what this team needs. I really feel like, you know, on paper looks good, but you have to create chemistry. You have to create a personality where you're playing together as a group, and maybe lightening up the clubhouse will help.
Now Cash wants to go out and talk with Hacker. We told you the Yankees have made some changes. We have Nick Swisher playing first base for the Yanks. New third baseman is Doug Bernier. You've got Colin Curtis in left. Melky Cabrera takes over for Gardner in center. And everybody else remains the same. Burrow at short, Ransom at second. Nady still in right. Cash still behind the plate. And the 2-0. Way outside. It's funny because Swisher said that the first day he got here he was listening to music on his iPod with the earbuds. And he said, I took out an earbud and I said, wow, it's kind of stuffy in here. He said, it needs some life. So he actually asked Joe Girardi, and Joe said, please make it loud. Turned him loose on 3-0 and he fouled it back. Some managers don't like it. Joe Torre was not a manager that wanted music in the clubhouse, and you know, he used to get into little verbal battles with David Wells about it because David Wells wanted to crank Metallica on days that he was pitching.
Well, I talked about personality. I mean, a lot of the clubs that I was on, it was pretty much, you know, the starting pitcher dictated what music he would play that day. You know, you come to the Yankees, it was a little bit different, but, you know, Joe Girardi, I think, has to make some adjustments this year from last year, and maybe loosening up the clubhouse is one of those adjustments. But Joe Girardi also said Nick Swisher plays the game the right way. He comes from a baseball family, goes out there and plays hard, so that's going to rub off on some of his teammates as well.
Now, Joe Girardi's trying to foster a bit of a lighter mood as well, and put together a pool tournament. And in that pool tournament, the entire team was given the day off. They came here, and Joe pulled them off the field and said, we're going to play pool. And Mariano Rivera dominated, was absolutely a ringer, and he won both tournaments.
It's not a shocker that Mariano would be a ringer at pool. I mean, everything he does, it seems to master.
Pitch to David Wright is the strike.
But again, goes back to chemistry, goes back to creating a personality, a ball club where you have 25 guys pulling for each other. And maybe that's the first step to creating that type of atmosphere for this season.
You know, Joe also wants to show a lighter side, and he's almost taking the blueprint, John, from Tom Coughlin of the Giants, where Coughlin was in danger of losing his job the year before they won the Super Bowl, and he was told, you got to lighten up. And by that they meant, you got to show the side that you have when you talk to your grandkids, you know, that there's a real human being there, that you care about people. And he took them on a bowling trip. And things changed from that point. He kind of had a leadership council where he spoke to players. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Loosened up a bit, and Giants ended up winning the Super Bowl, the 2-1. Foul back, and I think Joe wants to do that as well. Joe didn't have the best year with the media last year, and I think he was even a little tighter on his players. First time as the manager of the Yankees, taking over for Joe Torre, who had never failed to make the playoffs. So there was a lot of pressure on him. I think we're seeing closer to the real Joe Girardi now.
And the first step, readily admitting that I need to make some changes with the media, with my players. It's a sign of a good leader.
Well, Eric Hacker is really working himself into a jam. He's got runners on first and second, nobody out, and a 3-2 count on the cleanup hitter, David Wright of the Mets. Let's see if they send the runners. They do not. And the pitch is outside, and Hacker has loaded the bases on an infield single and 2 walks.
Well, you'd think you'd see a visit maybe from pitching coach Dave Island to settle down the young right-hander. Dave's going to go to the pen and get somebody warmed up, or the phone to the pen. You know, in this situation, you got to slow the game down. Not easy for a young pitcher, pitched in Double-A last year. You got Adam Dunn up at the plate at 40 home run power with the bases loaded. Slow the game down, try and make a pitch down and away, try to get a ground ball.
And he gets a ground ball, and Baroa boots it. And he can't get anybody, so that's an E6, a run scores, and it's 3-1 USA. Now Dunn will get an RBI, you can't assume the double play. But Baroa, usually sure-handed, could not make the play.
Nice job by Hacker. He made the pitch that he had to make, try and get the ground ball. Baroa goes with the backhand and can't come up with it, gets his feet tangled, and then can't get a grip on the ball. But give credit to the young right-hander Hacker. He makes the pitch, a little movement down and away, gets a ground ball. You're thinking double play, and your defense let you down.
It was Kevin Youkilis, and there's a strike. Hey, truth be told, you look at this Team USA starting lineup, this is a difficult lineup to navigate. If they get pitching, they could go far in this WBC. One hitter after the other is a real challenge. And for a guy that played Double-A ball last year, count 0-2, it's probably a little intimidating.
Well, there's definitely nerves going on right now as Youkilis swung through a slider. But you know what, Michael, when you come to big league camp, this is what you want to find out. How can I do against the big leaguers? And this is pretty much the best of the major leagues that he's facing right here. So a good test for the young righty.
And that one gets through Cash. Here comes Chipper Jones. He'll score. The other runners move up. It's now 4-1 Team USA.
Tough spot for Hacker. He's made a couple of pitches when he's had to, and the defense has let him down. This is not a bad curveball. And Kevin Cash is known as a defensive catcher. That'll be a play that he would say he has to keep in front. I'll be disappointed in his effort right there. Most importantly, takes away the double play for the young righty.
Must be a helpless feeling because obviously Hacker trying to impress the big league staff, and here he's out there with still nobody out, 2 runs in, and his defense has deserted him. And obviously he did not have great command, got himself into trouble, the 2-2. Foul back. There's got to be a lot of emotion, a lot of pressure. And that's part of spring training. I mean, you hear great stories and you hear heartbreaking stories as well.
This is also where the coaching staff pays attention to a young pitcher, and you watch his demeanor on the mound. Is he letting things get away from him? Does he slow down? These are things that Dave Island, Joe Girardi, all the pitchers or pitching coaches pay attention to see how he handles this situation.
And the 2-2. Looped into shallow right field. That is a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Dunn. He'll score. It's a 2-run single for Youkilis, and it's 6-1 USA.
Well, Youkilis just such a professional hitter. When he gets behind in the count, runners in scoring position, is not thinking about pulling the baseball, just tries to fight it off. See, Hacker throws a little slider, it just stays middle, and Youkilis just fights it off the other way. Nice piece of situational hitting. He's almost become a slugger, 29 home runs, but this, he just backs the ball up, lets it travel to home plate, and just blocks it to right field. Nice piece of situational hitting, 2 RBIs.
Little change in the way Youkilis looks. He used to have that big bushy goatee, and that's gone, and now he's gone as they take him out for the remainder of the game.
Remember when Youkilis came up, all we heard about was on-base percentage. He walks, he works at bats. I mean, now he's become the complete package. 29 home runs, 115 RBIs, become a big-time slugger.
Shane Victorino of the world champion Phillies. Pinch runs for Youkilis and almost gets picked off. Shane Victorino from Hawaii. He's a spark plug for the Phillies. There's still a lot of animosity between the Mets and the Phillies, and a rivalry is certainly building there. And Victorino in the postseason hit a big home run and kind of posed coming out of home plate and pointed, and his teammates had a picture of it. And the next day they put it in the locker, and on his back they crossed out Victorino and put Reyes, because they think that Jose Reyes of the Mets, who's also in the WBC, poses a little bit much. So that certainly got the message across to Victorino. Swing and a miss. Ryan Braun with an 0-1 count.
That's probably why the Phillies were successful. You have guys in that clubhouse who police themselves. You don't let something like that go unnoticed. You take care of it right away. And Victorino, a late addition to Team USA.
Again, almost picked off.
Grady Sizemore had maybe a groin problem. He had to back out, so Victorino gets a start. And you can see the good move from Hacker. Good quick feet.
What's the old adage, John? If you don't have to dive back at first, your lead's not really big enough. You want to almost get picked off, just as long as you don't get picked off.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Getting a lead at first base would not be anything that I can talk to you about, Michael. As a catcher, you just made sure that you did not get picked off.
But how many times in your life did you hear the phrase, "he's fast for a catcher"?
Never.
Fouled away. I was talking to Jorge Posada. People forget this. I mean, Jorge is not a very quick runner, but he actually pinch ran in the 1995 Division Series for the Yankees against the Seattle Mariners. And I said, boy, how times have changed. He said, oh, I was fast then. I said, really, I don't think they just knew that you were this slow. Also, all the years of catching have worn down the legs. And Ryan Braun could not get out of the way, and this inning is getting away from Eric Hacker, and that's going to do it as Dave Island quickly signals to the bullpen.
This is one of those things you worry about with the WBC, the chance of injuries. Obviously, getting hit by a pitch can happen in a regular spring training game anyway. Ball gets away from Hacker, up and in, and hit Braun on a good spot. It looks like he's okay.
Well, Eric Hacker faces 6 batters. They all get on. 4 runs already in. The 2 runners on base are his responsibility. So the Yankees go to the bullpen. Stay right where you are. Hey, Yankee fans, get the best seats in the house at Yankee Stadium. Field level seats right between the bases are now available as 81 game, 41 game, and 20 game ticket plans. Packages include in-seat wait service and comfortable wide cushion luxury suite style seats. These plans are available on a limited basis, so don't miss your opportunity. Visit Yankees.com today or call 718-293-6000. Michael Dunn, young left-hander, comes in, and he deals high to Brian McCann. 4 runs already in. The 2 runners on base, still the responsibility of Eric Hacker. The 1-0. 1-1.
See a good fastball from Dunn, 91 miles an hour. He's got a good arm, a nice tight slider at about 83. See the numbers last year with Tampa. He's actually a converted guy, was an outfielder. Made the conversion to a pitcher, still making some adjustments. The command of the strike zone is not there yet, but a good arm.
Count 2-1.
It's actually another guy who was at that rookie preparation program, so was able to spend some time. He said the biggest adjustment going from an everyday player to a pitcher, you can't work on pitching like you can swinging a bat. You know, go into the cage and maybe take 100, 150 swings. And he said it's almost frustrating not being able to work at something that you want to get better because you have to protect your arm.
Foul back. What happens at this rookie orientation program, John? You've been a part of it a couple of years. Is it just teaching players how to deal with the media?
Oh, it's a lot more than that. That's a big part of it. But, you know, every organization in the major leagues has to send 3 players for a weekend in Virginia during January, where you basically give them a crash course on what you can expect in the major leagues. Some of the problems you might run into on the road, how to deal with the media, how to handle veteran players in the clubhouse.
And that one really, really behind McCann and gets past Cash. So a wild pitch, runners move up.
So it's really a weekend of a lot of seminars. So, you know, I go back as a retired player called a resource player. You know, you have discussion groups where the kids can ask you, you know, specific questions on what to expect and how to deal with certain situations. So, you know what, maybe if they make it to the big leagues this year and they run across one of these situations and they make a wise decision, then it was worth your time.
3-2. Popped up. Going out Baroa, coming in as Melky. Catch is made, and the throw is drawn from Victorino, and it comes home, so Victorino stays put, one away. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of World Baseball Classic, Inc. and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent. Boy, Kevin Cash is getting a workout. Blocks that one and keeps a run from scoring.
There's a big-time play right here, keeping this ball in front, and this is what Kevin Cash is known for. The work behind the plate, a good catch and throw guy. And these are situations you impress Joe Girardi. Ball in the dirt, squares it up right in his chest protector, keeps it in front. Outstanding play. He's a nice addition, Michael. I mean, even if he goes to AAA, work with some of those young pitchers that they have down there. I don't know what his contract situation is if he was accept an assignment to the minor leagues, but being valuable to have a veteran guy behind the plate, knows how to call a game. Work with guys like Ian Kennedy, Phil Hughes. It's almost like having a pitching coach out on the field.
See, that's why I didn't understand why the Yankee farmhand Francisco Cervelli would have gone to play in the WBC for Italy when you think you'd want to be here and show the major league personnel what you can do. The 2-1. There's a strike, because look at Melky Cabrera. He was originally going to play in the WBC. He said, whoa, it's more important for me to try to win this center field job, and he backed out. But Cervelli goes to play for Italy. I mean, why?
I agree with you. You know, the catching situation, if Jorge Posada is healthy, obviously he's locked in as a starter.
Strike 3 to Granderson as he goes down looking 2 away.
Nice job working his way back right there, done. But I agree, if Jorge Posada is not ready to go, Joe Girardi might be forced to carry 3 catchers. So now you have a choice. Kevin Cash, who's a non-roster veteran catcher, or Cervelli, who's a young kid who's on the 40-man roster. It'd be easy for the Yankees to keep him, but he chose to go to the WBC and maybe misses an opportunity to impress the coaching staff.
Well, Team USA has batted around. Runners on second and third, 2 outs. Here is Pedroia. And there's a strike. Pedroia is 1 for 3. Single to center, fly to center, and then lined out to third. (6-1) USA over the Yankees. And the 0-1. Foul back. Dustin Pedroia, boy, what a last couple of years he's had. Won the World Championship with the Red Sox in 07 and the Rookie of the Year. And then last year, the American League MVP, All-Star, Gold Glove, led the American League in hits, runs, and doubles. And he started 2007, if you remember, awful, to the point where Terry Francona had to be convinced by Red Sox management this guy will break out of it. And he did. He's a gritty, grinder sort of player. And for a little guy who doesn't hit a lot of home runs, he swings about as hard as you could swing. And he did hit 17 home runs for the Red Sox last year. 1-2. Swing and a miss. The ball diving down and in. So that's a nice job by Michael Dunn. Really nice job. 4 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 ducks left on the pond. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 6-1 USA.
MLB Tonight is going to be a lot of fun for us to be able to sit at the desk and give viewers a really good sense as to what's happening throughout the league.
We're able to break down certain plays and take our time doing it.
There's going to be scores, updates, highlights. You'll be able to not only follow your favorite team, but all 30 teams in Major League Baseball.
A baseball fan will never have to change the channel. They can cruise the entire Major League Baseball schedule at one sitting.
MLB Tonight, weeknights at 7 Eastern and Pacific, only on MLB Network.
Jorge Posada takes a pitch high as we start in the bottom of the 6th inning. 6-1 USA. Matt Thornton from the White Sox, the new pitcher for Team USA. There's a strike. We mentioned earlier that Posada was scratched from Saturday's game with a sore shoulder, but he was quickly back in the lineup. But boy, does that send up red flares to the Yankees. Because, John, they need this guy, I would say, to catch 115, 120 games this year.
Well, if he could catch 120 games, I think the Yankees would be ecstatic. I would think more 100, 110. You could protect them a little bit.
Shattered bat, popped up, and it dunks in front of Dunn. And it's a base hit for Posada. Dunn, who moved from right to first base, did not play that all that well.
Wonder maybe if he lost his ball in the sun, because he goes back, he turns around and looks, and he's not even close to it. You're Jorge Posada, you shatter a bat, you're not expecting a base hit, you get a gift. Want to save those for the season.
John Rodriguez will pinch run. Now let me ask you, John, because Posada had major shoulder surgery, and he expects to be playing on April 6th when the season opens behind the plate. How difficult is that to do?
Well, Michael, I had shoulder surgery in my right shoulder when I was 20 years old. I was in college and had the labrum repaired and the rotator cuff.
So that was a serious surgery?
That was a serious surgery. Same thing, arthroscopic surgery, but a lot of work was done. And I did not feel 100% for a full year. Now, you had your good days and your bad days, so I wasn't surprised that Jorge had a little bit of a setback, because I think mentally that first year it's a grind where you have a good day, bad day.
Nady rips one to left field. It is a base hit. And moving to second, John Rodriguez.
Jorge might be ready to catch opening day, but he might not be catching the next day. I think Joe Girardi early on really has to listen to Jorge, how the shoulder feels, kind of pick your spots to give him a day off, maybe combined with an off day where he gets 2 to regroup a little bit. But it's going to be a sticky situation early on in the year, and especially the cold weather.
Along with John Flaherty, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. We thank you for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon. It's 6-1 Team USA against the Yanks. Here's Cody Ransom. Fouled away. And what makes it even more of a conundrum for the Yankees, though, John, Jorge Posada is not Jose Molina. They need Jorge Posada's bat. So it's not as if, okay, he has to be a catcher, but he has to be in the lineup, and since your DH is Hideki Matsui, if you DH Posada, you're losing a bat out of the lineup.
Yeah, you really need that shoulder to come back, maybe 90, 95%, where, maybe he's not the full strength Jorge Posada, but doing a decent enough job behind the plate, throwing some runners out where teams just don't take liberties on him. And it's going to be that first month of April for Joe Girardi, I think really is going to be tricky. How to get him in ball games, keep his confidence high, and keep gaining some arm strength.
The 0-2. Line drive. It is a base hit to left field. John Rodriguez rounds third. He will come home. Stopping at second is Nady. It's an RBI single for Ransom. And USA now leads the Yankees 6-2.
Cody Ransom is going to get some opportunities this spring with a lot of the infielders gone. He's going to get some at-bats. And he gets a high fastball from Thornton. It's pretty straight, not a whole lot of movement on that fastball. And Ransom makes him pay with a nice line drive to left field, an RBI base hit. Michael, the more I see Ransom, the more I like him. Just seems like a guy who goes about his business, gives you quality at bats, has some power, can play all the infield positions. Nice piece to the puzzle.
Slice foul. And I think that over the last couple of years, it's that sort of player that the Yankees have missed. Because what the Yankees have done is they get such great players that they overload on great players, and the guys sitting on the bench have been players that play every day on other teams, and they don't accept the role and they don't embrace it, and they're not good at it. They're not able to do the little things. So I think having a Cody Ransom is something the Yankees haven't had for a couple of years.
Let's put it this way, Michael. If you're a major league manager of the New York Yankees and you have, obviously all-star players, you have a great pitching staff, the last thing you want to worry about is a backup player and if he's happy with his role. Cody Ransom, you do not have to worry about. He's a pro. He's going to get his work done, keep his mouth shut, and be ready to play.
Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. I'll give you 3 names on the Yankee championship teams that played the role that Cody Ransom should play. Andy Fox, Clay Bellinger, and Homer Bush. All of them knew that they were bench players. They were not stars somewhere else, and they accepted the role, and they really helped the Yankees win titles.
Obviously, Homer Bush with the speed was a weapon, but they knew their role. When they get in there, you almost want it just to be like you're not seen. You don't miss the starter for that day. Do your job.
Swing and a miss as Cass goes down on strikes, 1 away.
But I think more importantly, what you're getting at is the personality of a backup player. Don't draw a lot of attention to yourself. You know you're not going to get a lot of playing time. Just be a nice piece to the puzzle. Cody Ransom is that piece.
And I think that fans get caught up in that as well, to the detriment of the team. Because, I had a phone call on a radio show where a guy said, well, what if Alex Rodriguez gets hurt? They don't have a great player to back him up. Popped up and out of play. And I said, well, what do you mean they don't have a great... He said, well, they don't have anybody that can approximate what he could do. I said, but he's Alex Rodriguez. You can never have somebody that can approximate what Alex Rodriguez is. That's not what a bench is for. If you suffer a really debilitating injury, the team's going to suffer. You can't have a quality backup that's going to approximate numbers behind everybody.
No, and there's a special gift to be sitting on that bench for 4 or 5 days in a row and play a ball game and be productive. Not an easy thing to do. A lot of, Wilson Betemit now is not with the Yankees, but not an easy job for a guy to sit on the bench and then be productive as a pinch hitter. So when you can find somebody who has all the tools, can produce, not playing every day, and is a good team guy, valuable player.
And the 0-1. Baroa fouls it away.
Well, I was having that discussion today. Somebody said, oh, what if Derek Jeter got hurt? Cody Ransom can't play shortstop every day. Well, you worry about that if it happens. Maybe you got to go out and make a trade. But, even a guy like Baroa, you don't know what his situation is going to be. Has a history of being an everyday shortstop. He might be somebody you have down at AAA if something happens to your starter.
And to think that, though, John, it's sheer lunacy. You could never have somebody that could do what Derek Jeter or Alex Rodriguez could do. And if one of those players suffers a long-term injury, if you had somebody like that, they'd be starting somewhere, so you have to go make a trade.
We found that out with Jorge Posada last year.
Right.
Jose Molina did a fantastic job, but when Jorge Posada goes down, you're missing something behind the plate. Jose Molina is probably the best backup catcher in the game, but you ask him to play every day, he's not going to be the same player.
The 0-2 to Baroa. Just fouled it off. Roy Oswalt started for Team USA, then Brad Ziegler, and now Matt Thornton. And we gave you the makeup of the pitching staff for Team USA. 4 starters, and the rest of them are all relievers, which makes sense because they have pitch counts as starters. So if you can mix and match according to the way the lineup is coming up against you, you could effectively use relief pitchers like Thornton and Ziegler. The 0-2. Baroa is battling.
Baroa's having a good at-bat right here, spoiling some tough pitches. And Baroa was a Rookie of the Year when he played for Tony Pena, I believe. I talked to Tony today about him, and he said, he's got some game left in him, and maybe he was one of these young guys, had a lot of success early, and then maybe didn't work at it as hard as he should have, and now he's got to fight for a job. So Tony Pena likes what he's seen from Baroa so far in spring training. We'll see how it works out.
The 0-2, fouled away. And the new catcher, Chris Iannetta, goes out to talk with Thornton. And Victorino took over in right field, as we mentioned, with Dunn at first. And what Davey Johnson's doing, which is a little surprising, really stretching his guys out. He's keeping his starters in there. Now we're in the 6th inning. That's a long time here on today's date, March 3rd, to play in a game. The 0-2. Check swing. Count 1-2. Now they have another tune-up game tomorrow, and maybe the guys that are on the bench. You know, the backup shortstop for Team USA is Jimmy Rollins. That's not too bad. And tomorrow's game will be in Dunedin against the Toronto Blue Jays, another tune-up game. The 1-2. Boy, Baroa really, really battling. The 1-2. Shattered bat, soft ground ball. David Wright, bare hands, fires. Got him. That's a nice play by David Wright as the runners move up. So Thornton wins that battle.
A nice play by David Wright coming in barehanded. Got a good grip on the ball. Nice flip over to first base. Probably had a little bit more time. He could have went with the glove and the transfer and made a strong throw, but nice play by the New York Met third baseman.
Gold Glove winner, and not a knock on David, but David, you don't look at him and you watch the games at the Mets, he's not a Gold Glove type third baseman. But this has not been a great couple of years in the National League for sparkling defensive third baseman. Here's Nick Swisher, his first at bat. High fly ball, right field, deep. Victorino back, still back, still back, still back. And it's over his head and bounces over the wall for a 2-run double. So a ground rule double for Nick Swisher over the head of Victorino, scoring Nady and Ransom. And the Yankees are right back in this. USA 6 and the Yankees 4.
Nick Swisher has some power, 24 home runs last year. And Victorino was really playing shallow, and he gets turned around. Himself in trouble in right field. He's usually a center fielder. Didn't look very comfortable in right field, was playing really shallow, but Swisher has some power, a switch hitter. Nice 2-out RBI double.
Here's Colin Curtis. And there's a strike. This is Curtis's first at bat. Last year at AA Trenton, 71 ribbies, a .255 average. Breaking ball strike from Thornton. Count 1-1. Just missed outside, 1-2. Yankees have 10 hits against Team USA. USA with 6 hits, but they've made more out of their hits with 6 runs. Yankees have 4 runs. And the Yankees have committed 1 error. The 1-2. Nice block there by Iannetta. USA's just carrying 2 catchers. Brian McCann and Chris Iannetta.
McCann, the left-handed swinger. Iannetta, a right-handed swinger. It's more of a reputation as a defensive guy with the Colorado Rockies. Has some power, hit some home runs last year. But, you know, another adjustment too, Michael, for these catchers, trying to get to know this pitching staff before this WBC tournament starts up.
Swing and a miss. Colin Curtis down on strikes, and that will do it. But the Yankees pick up 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 man left. We go to the 7th, 6-4 USA.
MLB Network's 30 clubs in 30 days, your ultimate spring training road trip. Next stop, Rays Camp in Port Charlotte, Florida. Ken Longoria, Burrell, and Price help Tampa Bay repeat its storybook run Wednesday at 6 Eastern, only on MLB Network.
Oh, we've got more baseball coming up on Yes, that's right. This Saturday against the Braves, Chin-Ming Wong will get a start. And then we've got the Reds and the Astros, the Pirates and the Blue Jays. The Red Sox on the 24th. And then in Clearwater against the Phillies. And then the 2 games at the new Yankee Stadium on April 3rd and April 4th against the Chicago Cubs and Lou Piniella. All of that on yes. Derek Jeter is 2 for 3, and he leads off here in the 7th as USA leads 6-4. Michael Dunn got out of a jam in the 6th. And the 1-0. Inside 2-0. Jeter wrapped into a double play in the 1st, a 2-run single in the 3rd, and then an infield single behind second base in the 6th, and he came around to score.
In the 3rd inning, Derek Jeter got the base hit to put Team USA ahead. A couple of bounces up the middle past Baroa.
There's a strike. And the 3-1. Jeter walks. So he has been on base 3 times. So Michael Dunn puts the leadoff batter on. And that's going to bring up Mark DeRosa. With the Cubs, a very, very good year last season. And Mark is now with the Cleveland Indians, and he'll play third base for them. Pitch outside, 1-0. Locally, people should know that Mark DeRosa actually played for Bergen Catholic High School.
My arch rival in high school.
Really? Now, what was your high school?
St. Joseph's Regional High School in Montvale, New Jersey, and Bergen Catholic at the time in Oradell, I believe. We were the big boys on the block, and Don Bosco was kind of third, I would say. Now Don Bosco's a power in football and baseball. Outstanding athletic program.
Now, you grew up in Pearl River, though. How did you go to
I grew up
high
in
school
West
in Jersey?
Nyack, New York.
But that's New York.
In New York. I went to a regional high school in New Jersey, an all-boys high school.
Runner goes. High fly ball left field. Colin Curtis battles the sun and the wind and wins that battle, putting it away for the first out. So Michael Dunn with one away. And that's going to bring up David Wright.
Kind of surprised I didn't pinch run for Derek Jeter. Got on first base here in the 7th inning. He thought maybe his day would be done, but it looks like Davey Johnson stretching Derek Jeter out.
I wonder, John, these guys are playing on the same team. But on April 6th, they'll be playing against each other. And how much they're going to let out. How many state secrets are they going to share with guys that they want to win with now? Giving them little tips, well, this could help you. I mean, are they going to give away secrets that could end up hurting them during the regular season?
What do you mean, trying to help a guy hit or something like that? Like
a little tip or something like that. Or if you're a catcher, if you're Ionetta or McCann, I mean, are you going to help a pitcher that, and if you're a pitcher, you're going to show them what you have that you're pitching to them? What's your big, out pitch at a certain time? I mean, they should know that anyway, but now there's going to be an intimate knowledge. And that one gets past Nick Swisher and rolls down the right field line. Jeter is at second. He's going to stop right there.
Yeah, that's a situation right there. Derek Jeter, if he's in midseason form, he's on third base easily, but he was clearly taking it easy running to second base. You don't want to risk pulling a hamstring coming around second. I mentioned 7th inning late in the ball game. Dunn drops down a little bit and the ball gets away from him. Swisher can't come up with it. You can see Derek kind of taking it easy, going into second base. Not a time to push it and maybe pull a muscle.
So you're not buying the state secret stuff?
No, you know what, Michael? I mean, if I'm catching a guy that I won't play with during the year, it's so much different catching him than trying to hit him later on. I mean, you might know the stuff that he has or the movement on his pitches, but pretty much these guys know everything about each other anyway with how much they see each other during the season. So I don't see it being an issue. You know, you create some friendships playing on Team USA, but once you get between the lines for 3 hours, all you want to do is win.
David Wright today, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
You were talking about David Wright winning the Gold Glove. It seems like he has more trouble on the routine play. You know, maybe a lack of concentration. Can make that great play and the great throw when he lays out, but the routine play has a little trouble with his throws.
And David swings and misses, 2 away. And Dave Island has seen enough of Michael Dunn. Probably likes what he's seen. Michael Dunn got out of a jam in the 6th and now has gotten 2 outs here in the 7th. He will give the ball to the Yankee pitching coach. And the signal to the bullpen has been made. Dunn is just that, as the Yankees are trailing USA 6-4. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Runner on second base. That runner is Derek Jeter, playing against the Yankees, which must be a little odd for him. But he is the starting shortstop for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. He's already driven in 2. He scored a run. The Yankees bring in David Robertson, who was impressive last year. 4-0 record. A somewhat bloated ERA because of a couple of bad performances. But for the most part, 36 strikeouts in 30 and a third innings. He had very good stuff.
Well, he's got good stuff, a power fastball, and he's got a nice curveball. And one of the things we'll look for today, Dave Island, the pitching coach, said he wants him to get that curveball going. It's about that time in spring training. He wants him to have a better feel for it. So we'll pay attention to see if he mixes it in today.
The Yankees have used 5 pitchers. And now Robertson will face Adam Dunn. Dunn reached on an E6, picked up an RBI in the 6th inning. Before that, he had struck out twice. So he's 0 for 3. And the pitch is high. See Dunn's numbers last year, 40 home runs, 100 ribbies, but had to wait till recently to sign a contract. And there's a strike. Count 1-1. Inside, 2-1. Adam Dunn's resume, made the All-Star team in 2002. Each of the last 5 seasons, 40 or more home runs. And in 8 big league seasons, 278 home runs. The negative in his game is he simply strikes out too much, and it's kind of an all or nothing at all offensive game.
David Robertson's showing a good fastball, 4 fastballs in a row. We'll see if he tries to go for the curveball, maybe for the strikeout pitch.
Strike 3, went with a fastball right down the middle. So Dunn strikes out for the 3rd time. No runs, no hits, 1 error. 1 man left at the end of 6 1/2. Time for the 7th inning stretch. 6-4 USA. Good look at Steinbrenner Field. And Dale Mabry, we call it the private Deegan. Not the major Deegan, that's in the Bronx. That's the private Deegan. It runs parallel to the right field wall. And right across the street is Raymond James Stadium, where they had the Super Bowl the beginning of February, and that's where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play as well. Always a big crowd here at Steinbrenner Field. But at Raymond James, they're waiting for something to fill those seats. The Steelers will always remember that as they won their 6th Super Bowl title. on February 1st. And that flag was never there before. That is a flag they put up, I think, about a week ago. And if you're in this ballpark, you could see that Buccaneer flag, which flies out of the parking lot at Raymond James. Heath Bell is the new pitcher, and he's going to face Melky Cabrera as Team USA leads the Yankees 6-4. Pitch is high.
Heath Bell, right-hander from the Padres, led their staff last year with 74 appearances. Team USA leading 6-4. He's a power arm, comes right at hitters. And another late addition to Team USA's roster.
And a strike. Those are the numbers for Heath last year with the Padres. Now Melky comes into this at bat knowing that the guy he's battling for the center field job went 3 for 3. 2 singles, a stolen base, a double, a run scored for Brett Gardner. This is what Melky did last year, a disappointing season for Melky. Hitting just .249, took a step back last year, trying to gain that momentum again and move forward with his skills. Pitch high.
No, Michael, when you're in competition with somebody, I mean, obviously you say, oh, I'm just going to worry about my game. But you pay attention to what Brett Gardner did. He's had 3 hits today. He's gotten off to a nice start in spring training. I was even talking to our friend Tino Martinez this morning in the clubhouse, and he said he would always pay attention even when he was a starter. You know, that AAA guy would have a good game, and he'd get back in the cage and get ready for the next outing. So you want to kind of answer the bell.
Well, he doesn't that time. Breaking ball drops on the inside corner as Melky goes down looking.
He's got a power fastball and a big curveball. Just locks Melky up. You see, he really didn't even finish down in the zone. Just stayed up, but it just froze him. Bobby Abreu's number, huh?
Yes, and he said he just took it because he always had it in winter ball. It has nothing to do with Abreu. He'd been number 28 his first couple of years. Here's Doug Bernier. Strike on the outside corner.
Speaking of players that signed late, Bobby Abreu, huh, with the Angels. I was surprised to see that. Obviously, the economy the way that it is, but I was impressed with Bobby the last few years here with the Yankees.
Now, last year with the Yankees, he made $16 million, but was out there so long that he ended up signing for $5 million for the Angels. And that could end up being a very economically sound signing for the Angels. The 1-2. Another signing that really raised some eyebrows because he's a good player, Garrett Anderson. Spent his whole career with the Angels. They decided not to re-sign him, and he ended up signing with the Braves for $2.5 million. The 2-2. There's that breaking ball, strike 3. Bernier down looking. This is a good test for some of the kids that are coming in for the Yankees because usually this late in the spring training game, you're facing kids from the lower minor leagues as well, but now they're facing big league pitchers, and gives the Yankees a little bit of a better read on their skills and how close they are to the big league level. There's John Rodriguez, last year with AAA New Orleans, 288. He's played in the big leagues with the Cardinals. And there's a strike.
I've always liked John Rodriguez. You know, left-handed hitter, swings the bat well. I know he's hit a home run here in spring training already, but he has some big league experience. Left-handed swing with some pop. Now, Heath Bell has it going on right now. He's got a good fastball. We've seen a couple of nasty curveballs for the strikeouts and a changeup there that had Rodriguez fooled out on his front foot.
And the 0-2, a little bit high. Along with John Flaherty, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball here on the Yes Network. We thank you for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon and hope that you'll join us throughout the season. We will produce over 140 games on Yes, including spring training. And then we'll have our requisite number on My 9 as well. Pitch is high, check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Season starts on the road for the Yankees. 3 games in Baltimore, 3 then in Kansas City, and 3 games against the American League East champions, or the American League champions, Tampa Bay Rays, before the Yankees head to the new Yankee Stadium. What an inning for Heath Bell. He strikes out the side. Big time stuff. We go to the 8th, 6-4 USA. George Steinbrenner Field. And at Steinbrenner Field on the Nissan scoreboard, it's the 8th inning, and Team USA leads the New York Yankees 6-4, 6-6-0, leading 4-10-2. David Robertson, who struck out Adam Dunn for the final out of the 7th, remains on the mound for the Yanks. And he is going to face Shane Victorino. Shane wears number 50 to honor the state in which he was born, the 50th state in the Union, Hawaii. And there's a strike. Now you might see on the right sleeve of the Team USA uniform is the American flag. But it almost seems that most people would look at that flag and say, well, why is it backwards? And we'll show you that in just a sec. The 0-2. Grounded to first. Grabbed there by Swisher and flips to Robertson. 1 away. And there's the flag. So it looks as if it's backwards with the stars and stripes on the right rather than on the upper left-hand corner. But the U.S. Department of Defense explains the appearance of the American flag facing backward on the right uniform sleeve of the Team USA uniform. Now, according to Army Regulation 670-1, under wear and appearance of Army uniforms and insignia, when authorized for application, the American flag patch is to be worn right or left shoulder so that the star field faces forward. When worn in this manner, the flag appears to be flying in the breeze as the wearer moves forward. The appropriate replica for the right shoulder sleeve is identified as the reverse side flag. You got that all, John?
No.
Well, when the U.S. Department of Defense explains it, then I accept it. Pitch is low. Got to tell you one thing, those are sharp-looking uniforms. People are going to buy those uniforms and those caps.
You were asking for a cap today, weren't you?
Yeah, I ran into much resistance.
They didn't have your size?
Well, now why go there about the head size? I don't understand. No, they wanted to charge me. That was the issue. The 2-1. Now, a lot of people would comment about the size of my head, but Hideki Arabu used to pitch for the Yankees. He had a size 8. I don't have that. Her heads that are bigger than mine. The 3-1. A little bit low. What size hat did you wear, John?
7 1/4.
So you had a little peanut head then. Almost like a Beetlejuice thing.
I think it was average. Bruce Bochy had the biggest head I have ever seen. You're a close second.
Mine is only 7 1/2. That's not that much bigger than yours. Mine's just long. It's not big.
You know it's a 7 1/2?
Nah, it sometimes can push it to 7 5/8. Here's Chris Iannetta. There's a strike. Robertson sets. And a block there by the catcher, Kyle Anson. New right fielder for the Yankees, taking over for Nadia's Shelley Duncan. So the only 2 Yankees from the original starting lineup still in there, the shortstop Barroa and the second baseman Ransom. There's a strike. We're in the 8th inning here at Steinbrenner Field.
Chris Iannetta, 18 home runs last year for the Rockies out of the University of North Carolina. You know, Mike, a lot of scouts talk about Iannetta. They compare him to Joe Girardi, like that type of a player. You know, a smart catcher, calls a good game, has some power. I would take that as a compliment, being compared to Joe Girardi.
Joe Girardi got himself 3 World Series rings being that sort of catcher. The 1-2. Breaking ball a little bit low.
There's a curveball Dave Eiland, the pitching coach, said he wanted to see from Robertson. Pretty good, just missed out of the zone.
Ryan Braun dives back. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. So he goes with the fastball upstairs. And Iannetta strikes out. 2 down.
Good fastball, nice smooth delivery, and the ball kind of jumps out of his hand up in the zone. Able to sneak it by Iannetta. Robertson, a guy fighting for a bullpen spot. You never know how it's going to play out at the end of spring training. You want to have a good spring. If you do go down to AAA, you want to be one of the first guys called back.
Whichever way the Yankee bullpen shakes out, a lot of people in baseball are impressed with the arms that are going to be in there. You've got Mariano finishing games. You've got Brian Bruni and Jose Barris. Damaso Marte.
Phil Koch. Edouard Ramirez in the mix.
And that's the mix that we're talking about with Robertson. Is it Ramirez? Do they go with 6 in the bullpen? Do they go with 7? Do they carry 12 pitchers, or do they go with 11? Swing guys like Aceves, do they keep him in the bullpen to be a long guy, or send him down to AAA and have him be ready if they need a starter? Dan Geis is another guy who pitched well last year. He could be a swing guy, so they've got a lot of arms competing for only a couple of slots. There aren't many slots open on this team.
Brett Tomko, right, a non-roster veteran pitcher, could be a middle guy, spot starter if they need him.
Runner goes. 3-1 is popped up. Shallow left center. Colin Curtis. And he is called off by the shortstop, who puts it away for the final out of the inning. Hey, there might be some more candidates for the bullpen job that's open for the Yankees. They're trying out right outside Steinbrenner Field. Yankees down 6-4. Hey, Yankee fans, for all of your preseason news and notes, visit YesNetwork.com. Watch exclusive quick cuts, behind-the-scenes interviews at spring training. Plus, sign up for mobile alerts to get Yankee scores and news on your mobile device. An all-new season is an all-new reason to visit YesNetwork.com. New pitcher for Team USA. Its 5th pitcher is Jonathan Broxton of the Dodgers. Here's Shelley Duncan against the hard-throwing Broxton. And Duncan swings and fouls it off. See Broxton's numbers last year: 14 saves for the Dodgers. He's got a big arm. 88 strikeouts in 69 innings. Probably wants to get that walk total down just a bit. But he ended up being the closer that Joe Torre used in the postseason.
Power arm, power fastball, good split finger. It's a strikeout pitch.
Now, Broxton was born in Waynesboro, Georgia, and he idolized Chipper Jones of the Braves, who's now his teammate on Team USA. Idolized him to the point that when he played in Little League, he actually wore number 10 to honor Chipper Jones. Now he wears number 51. 10's really not a great number for a pitcher. But now he gets to play alongside him. The 0-2. 1-2.
See Shelley's numbers with Scranton last year, AAA, 12 home runs, 44 RBIs, trying to make a name for himself again this spring. He's gotten off to a good start. Hit a long home run here at Steinbrenner Field.
Chopped up the middle. And there's one away. Now, do you think, John, if you injected a truth serum into Joe Girardi, he'd be a little bit taken aback that Derek Jeter's still in the game?
Well, I'm surprised Derek is still in the game. You got to believe that Jimmy Rollins will probably play tomorrow. Maybe Derek plays 9 today, gets tomorrow off. We'll see how the manager wants to play it, but I'm sure Joe Girardi may be a little bit concerned just because these fields get hard at the end of spring training games. Derek been on his legs a lot today.
Here's Ramiro Pena. And there's a strike. Last year at Double-A. Driven out into left center field. Curtis Granderson puts it away for the second out. And that's going to bring up Kyle Anson. Bottom of the 8th inning, 6-4 USA over the Yankees. Is it a delicate balance, John, when you're a young player in spring training that you want people to notice you, but you don't want to bring attention to yourself?
Well, you want people to notice you by how you go out there and play during spring training games. And, the tough part for these kids, Kyle Anson coming in late in the ball game, is that, you get one at bat to impress your manager or your hitting coach. You get to catch a couple innings, obviously, but you really don't get a whole lot of opportunities, and it's tough to go out there not trying to do too much. You're facing a big league, big-time reliever, and you get one at bat here in the 8th inning. Want to try to have a good one.
Count 3-0 to Kyle Anson.
It's funny how spring training means a lot of different things for different type players. The coaching staff always watching. But a guy like Anson just happy to be here, catch guys in the bullpen, maybe get some appearances in games. Veteran players trying to get ready at their own pace, and then the young kids trying to make a ball club.
And Anson walks on 4 pitches against Jonathan Broxton. And also, that must be another delicate balance. You want to swing the bat, but you also want to respect the strike zone. So did that walk impress Girardi and his staff? Well, you got to do what's right. You have to honor the game. Here's Eduardo Nunez. Healthy cut, swings and misses.
That was always my attitude right there for Nunez. Go up there late in the ball game and swing as hard as you can at the first thing you see. Unfortunately, he got a nasty slider on the outside corner. You want to go up there, be aggressive, try to make something happen.
Could not hold up. And the count on 2. And the pitch. Misses outside. Squibb the other way, and it's going to squeak through for a base hit. Kyle Anson will stop at second. So Nunez picks up a single, keeps the inning alive. Yankees have runners on first and second and 2 outs. And that'll bring up Nick Swisher.
Broxton went with 3 sliders in a row and then finally decides to go with a power fastball. Nunez just fights it off the other way, shoots the hole. Again, you get one at bat late in the ball game. You want to have a productive one, and that's, I'm sure, is an impressive at bat against a big-time major league reliever. Pick up a base hit.
Here's Nick Swisher. Broxton, nicknamed the Bull. Why? He's 6'4", 290 pounds. Although he looks a little bit leaner than he did last year in the playoffs, doesn't he, John?
No, he really does. And, you know, I'm thinking in my head, is he auditioning to close these games out here for Team USA? I mean, Joe Nathan was going to be one of the relievers, and he is not at the WBC now. So kind of that closer's role, the guy who's going to finish up the ball game, up for grabs. This might be his audition to be that guy. You know, Michael, I don't care what level you're at. The first time you play with a new team, you want to impress your teammates. You want to go out there and have a solid inning. Heath Bell came in and was dominating with 3 strikeouts. Broxton following him up. You want to impress your manager, your pitching coach, and your new teammates.
And the 1-1. 2-1. Broxton became the Dodgers closer after Takashi Saito was injured. So really got the job toward the end of May, beginning of June. The 2-1. And he was 14 of 17 save opportunities.
Nick Swisher in a good hitting count right now, 3-1 ahead in the count. We got the wind blowing out to right field. Might be an opportunity to cheat a little bit, get that bat head out, see if you can get a fastball. Hit a 3-run homer here late in the ball game.
And the 3-1. Chopped up the middle. Jeter's right there, and he'll throw to first for the final out of the inning. So Broxton works into and out of trouble. Derek Jeter's played 8 innings. His team is leading the Yankees. Yes, Jeter's leading the Yankees 6-4. Today's game on Yes is presented by Nissan. For vehicles that last and deals that won't, look closer. Nissan delivers. We go to the 9th inning at Steinbrenner Field, and that's a little of the future right there. Inside, it's the present, as the Yankees go to their 6th pitcher, Jose Veras. Now, Veras was originally slated to be in the WBC, but said to himself, you know, it's more important that I solidify my spot here with the Yankees. So he decided not to play in the WBC. So the right-hander deals. And Pedroia takes high, 1-0. Veras had a good season last year. 63 strikeouts in almost 58 innings. 3.59 ERA, picked up 6 saves. Check that, no saves, I'm sorry.
The Yankees just looking for him to continue to get better. I mean, he's graduated into a late inning guy, a setup guy for Mariano Rivera. You have Brian Bruni probably fill that role. Veras will definitely have some competition for that 8th inning job. There's always the talk about Jabba Chamberlain. Should he be a reliever? Should he be a starter? If you have Veras and Bruni who are dealing late in ball games, it kind of makes that a moot point. You don't have to worry about it. Get the ball to Mariano Rivera.
And Pedroia walks on 4 pitches. And that'll bring up Derek Jeter. Derek is 2 for 3 with a walk. 2 RBIs, runs scored. And this is his first full game of the spring. He's playing 9 innings. Coming into this game, the Yankees had played only 6 games, and Derek had not gone 9. And there's a strike. Derek, at the beginning of spring, before the games began, had a sore hamstring. Wasn't pulled, but they did take some care with him and didn't have him participate in some drills. But once the games began, he said he was 100%. The 0-1. A strike from Veras. Now, Jeter has played almost every game that Veras has pitched for the Yankees behind him. Does that give Jeter an advantage, knowing him this well?
No, because you haven't seen the delivery, and what makes Veras, part of his effectiveness is his arms and legs are all over the place. Got kind of a wild delivery. Not comfortable for a batter when you're facing that. So Derek, takes a couple of strikes, gets a look at it. Maybe you pick up a release point and now go to work in an 0-2 hole.
And the pitch. Jeter swings and misses one away. There's Mark DeRosa. Pitch outside. Vera's really a find for the Yankees. Throws in the upper 90s. And when he's got his command, he's as tough as anybody. Sometimes he'll fall out of sync. And he'll fall behind in the count. But when he's got everything working, John, he is really effective.
No, when he throws strikes, obviously a hard thrower, and I talked about the delivery where those arms and legs kind of flying all over the place. Got a good slider. Like I said, the Yankee coaching staff, the Yankee organization, just looking for him just to get a little bit better this year. He's shown improvement every year. And they're starting to trust him late in ball games.
There's that breaking ball, count 2-1.
DeRosa's going to be a valuable player for Eric Wedge and the Cleveland Indians this year. Can play all the infield positions, got some power.
Now Veras is trying to absorb some of the greatness that he comes across in the bullpen. He has a Mariano Rivera glove. And I think that is Mariano Rivera's glove. Runner goes, 3-1 is a strike. The throw to second. In time. A nice tag by Pena. Couple of hot throw by Kyle Anson, but it gets it done as Pedroia is out trying to steal 2-4.
Well, Pena makes this play with a nice pick and a nice tag. Gets Pedroia on the way by. Anson got rid of it in good shape, a low throw, but a nice pick by the second baseman made that play.
So now 2 away, full count on DeRosa. And DeRosa swings and misses in an impressive inning for Jose Veras. No runs, no hits, no errors because of the caught stealing. Nobody left on base. Last licks coming up. Do you believe in miracles? 6-4 Team USA. Why? Because we like baseball. That's why we are here on, yes, bottom of the 9th inning. Team USA leading the New York Yankees by a 6-4 score. Although the Yankees have out-hit Team USA 4-11-2, but losing to 6-6-0. And Team USA will bring in its 6th pitcher, and that is Matt Lindstrom of the Florida Marlins. And boy, does he throw hard. In fact, he was a property of the Mets, but then they they traded him for Jason Vargas and Adam Bostic, and that's one that I'm sure Omar Minai would like to have back, as Lindstrom has developed into a hard-throwing closer.
98 miles an hour on the first pitch to Colin Curtis, who struck out his first time up.
And the 0-1. Off-speed pitch, count 1-1. Top of the Yankee order. Curtis, Cabrera, and Bernier in the bottom of the 9th inning. Line drive, right field. Victorino will have to play it on a hop. A base hit for Curtis.
Well, not an easy thing for Curtis to do, get on top of a high fastball and slap it into right field. A guy who throws this hard and you get a fastball up in the zone, that's a nice piece of hitting, being able to get on top. Nice short compact swing. Leadoff base hit to start off the 9th.
Here's Melky Cabrera. He is struck out in his only time up. And there's that crackling fastball, 98 miles an hour.
Lindstrom does have problems with left-handed batters. They hit 324 off him last year. Somewhere down the road, maybe needs to develop a little two-seamer, get a little bit of more movement.
Fouled the other way and out of play. And the pitch. Slice foul. So dangerous. Seems like everybody's okay. Get a thumbs up. And a Red Sox fan getting a hand here at Steinbrenner Field. And the 0-2 inside, 1-2. Colin Curtis is at first. Melky Cabrera at the plate. Melky is the tying run. And the pitch. Chop foul.
Lindstrom, that good fastball, tight slider right there. Melky, you're in protect mode right now in the hole 1 and 2, just trying to foul off, spoil the tough pitches, and hope you get a mistake.
And the 1-2. Rounded foul. It seems, John, that when his knee comes up, he has a little bit of a herky-jerky motion before smoothing it out a bit.
Well, he does, and he throws hard, but like I mentioned before, it's a straight fastball. It doesn't really have a lot of movement, so if you can get one, middle of the plate and maybe cheat a little bit, get that bat head out in front of home plate, you might be able to do some damage.
Outside. And the 2-2. Melky battling the hard-throwing Lindstrom. Roy Oswalt started. Then it was Brad Ziegler, Matt Thornton, Heath Bell, Jonathan Broxton, and now Lindstrom. Oswalt looked pretty good. He pitched into the 4th inning, got the first out, and then departed. And the 2-2 missed inside. Phil Hughes started for the Yankees, and John, you liked what you saw with Hughes, didn't you? And so did Joe Girardi.
No, I did. I like everything about Phil Hughes this spring, from his makeup to his attitude, and today he did a nice job commanding the fastball. Thought maybe he got a little bit fatigued later on in his outing and gave up a few runs, but I thought all in all it was a positive day.
See if the Yankees send Curtis. They do. The 3-2. Line drive, base hit to right field. Curtis rounds second. He'll go to third. And Yankees are set up. They've got runners on the corners, nobody out as they try to battle back into this game.
Melky Cabrera just had one of those really special at-bats. You get in the hole early against a hard-throwing reliever, and you fight off some tough pitches, and finally he gets a fastball up in the zone on a 3-2 count. Is able to drive it into right field. That's one of those at-bats in spring training where your confidence goes up. You're able to use your hands against a hard-throwing reliever. That's a nice at-bat.
Here's Doug Bernier, who struck out looking in the 7th, his only time up today. There's a hard fastball strike on the outside corner. 0-1. High fly ball, left center. Granderson will make the catch. Tagging is Curtis. He'll score easily as the throw comes into second to hold the tying run at first. So a sac fly for Bernier. And right now, USA leads 6-5.
Bernier has a nice little inside-out stroke, just stays inside this baseball and drives it to center field. Congratulations by his teammates for a job well done.
Here's John Rodriguez. He struck out in his only at-bat in the 7th inning. He had come in as a pinch runner for Posada in the 6th. Posada was 2 for 3 today. So this is the cleanup spot in the Yankee order, the DH spot today. Starts him off with a breaking ball strike on the outside corner backdoor. Nice pitch.
That's a good pitch, a good call from the catcher, Chris Iannetta. You know, John Rodriguez is thinking one thing: get a fastball out in front of home plate and see if you can go deep. They throw a nasty backdoor curveball for strike one. Good pitch, good call.
Count 1-1.
John Rodriguez right here. You'd love to get yourself in a hitter's count, get ahead in the count, see if you can just sit on that fastball and put one good swing, be able to pull out a late victory.
Keeps throwing him breaking balls to count 2-1.
Here's the situation. You got to believe you're going to get a fastball. Lindstrom throws as hard as he does. You're in a good hitter's count. See if you can just load up a little bit early if you're John Rodriguez and try and hit that fastball out in front of home plate and see what happens.
Runner goes. Swung on and missed on a breaking ball. And a stolen base for Melky Cabrera, who went in somewhat awkwardly. And then talks with his teammate, Derek Jeter.
Melky got a nice jump, gets himself in scoring position. Fastball right down the middle. Iannetta comes up with a strong throw, just a little off the mark. Melky in there easily.
So now a base hit could tie the game. And the 2-2. Chop foul. You do not have a typical right fielder's arm out and right. That's Shane Victorino, who plays center field for the Phillies. He doesn't have a bad arm, but doesn't have that prototypical Jesse Barfield, Dave Winfield sort of arm out there. Little Ellis Valentine. How about a name from the past? The 2-2. Popped up. David Wright battles the sun and puts it away, and the Yankees are down to their final out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And this should be fun. Now you've got Shelley Duncan, a guy who sits on fastballs, and Matt Lindstrom, a guy who throws 98-mile-an-hour fastballs. Strength against strength.
Nice power matchup right here. We'll see if Lindstrom and Iannetta go to the off-speed pitches early and then maybe try to finish Shelley Duncan off with a fastball. If Shelley gets into a fastball count, this will be a nice matchup.
And if he connects, he can deposit one in Lake George over the left field wall. Tying runs at second. That's Melky Cabrera. The Yankees down by 1, 6-5. The pitch. Inside, 1-0. Last Thursday, Shelley Duncan in the Yankees spring training home opener got one to Lake George right down the line. If he does it now, he ends the game. Lindstrom deals. One with a breaking ball to count 1-1.
Good pitch. First base is open. You don't have to give in to Shelley Duncan right here. So Lindstrom and Iannetta can go to some off-speed pitches, see maybe if you can get him to chase one out of the zone.
The 1-1. Yankees down to their final strike.
That was the pitch right there for Shelley Duncan. You see he shakes his head. He got a hanging curveball, hanging slider up in the zone. He had a big rip at it. He just wasn't able to center it, just underneath it a little bit. That's a hanger right there. That's a ball that should be deposited when Shelley's in midseason form. Lindstrom got away with one right there.
Cabrera leads off second. Yankees down by 1. A 1-2 count, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Lindstrom deals. Driven out into right center field. Granderson is there, and he makes the play for the final out of the game. In the 9th inning, the Yankees tried to rally but come up short. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. Derek Jeter is on the winning side, although the Yankees lost. Derek Jeter, part of Team USA, and Team USA in their first tune-up match, they beat the New York Yankees 6-5 on a Tuesday afternoon here in Tampa, Florida. We'll try to break this down and make some sense of it when we get back. 6-5 USA wins.